We started an incredible Youth Academy challenge with Catanzaro, who start in Serie B in Italy. In our adventure so far, we've unlocked some fantastic young players, and we've managed to make our way to Serie A. And over the next 6 or 7 seasons, we managed to finish 13th. A lot. Finished 13th. We finished 13th. We finished 13th again. Guess where we finished? Yes, we have finished 13th. We finished 13th again. Finished 14th. But the aim since the very beginning has always been, can we win the league or the Champions League only using our Youth Academy graduates? And it's about time that we started getting a bit serious about achieving that. So come on. Welcome back to our Catanzaro adventure, where last season we pick up from this position here. It was our best ever Serie A finish. We finished 9th. We're in the top half. We're a top half mid-table Serie A team, and the squad is pretty healthy because we've got a few decent young players coming through. There are probably gaps in this squad if we're going to be honest. However, we're looking at the best health we've been in so far in this save, aren't we? If I go here, I've actually moved us through to the start of our 9th season. It's the 25th of August. And if I show you the squad, this is what we are faced with. Now, there are a few things that you may see that I've been tweaking and working on in this save. We've got a new stadium, and I've put a picture in, and I have named it. A lovely comment did suggest Stadio Gioventù, which sounds Italian enough for me, and it means the Stadium of Youth, or Youth Stadium, which I think captures everything. I quite like the burnt orange effect of this, although it is kind of sort of situated in the middle of what is either a moat or a lake. But it does look pretty Italian. So I used Midjourney to create a nice little stadium picture there. I've also been busy creating some new kits because I felt like we're now a proper Serie A team. So we needed some lovely new kits. So these are them. They are quite Bradford, but I'm sort of here for it. For actual things that will affect us in the game, we are looking like this then in terms of our reputation, training facilities, youth recruitment and youth facilities. We have 4-star youth facilities, and we are in the process of improving our training facilities too. That will be done before the end of 2031, which is quite nice. That will take us, I believe, to perfect training facilities again. Even if I go to the board requests here, I can't actually ask for any more facilities, but going by a few of your comments as well, that seems to be tied to the reputation of the club. And what I'm really hoping is if we can sustain a top half finish for a few seasons, that rep should quite quickly go up to 4 stars, especially if we qualify for those continental competitions and we go to continental rep. And then maybe that's when our youth facilities can be improved even further. To be honest, though, it's not like our facilities being at 4 stars has really restricted us. We've built a good team with the players that have come through our intakes. There are some real star men in here. Matasera has exceeded all expectations and become, look at his value now. It's way up. I just didn't think it was possible for the player that we inherited. Now, he was a youth intake player. He's only ever played for us here, but he was already at the club. He's a real player. He was here when we took over. I had no idea he would have this much growth in him. I don't even think his potential looked that high, and he seems to have exceeded it. He's got great pros and cons as well. He's become our captain, our leader, our legend. He's played 219 games for us now, which is quite cool. Zilly, I think it was our first intake. We brought him through. Look how established he's become. 180 games for him as well. He does want to leave and he's unhappy because he wants to move to a bigger club and he's got extremely poor morale. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. You cannot leave. That's just the way things are. Same with Campani, who's come through, who's 6'5". He's literally listed as a wonder kid too. So this becomes more and more feasible to me as just a challenge. Spinelli on the right-hand side. Now, I know a lot of comments. I've read through all of the comments, by the way. Lots of suggestions. I'll try and touch upon all of those things as we go through today's video. Lots of suggestions about maybe changing the formation, maybe going with 2 strikers, maybe doing little tweaks that I can be putting in place to try and maximize our potential in the save. I'll hopefully touch upon all of those. And can I just quickly say, before we properly get into the video today, thank you so much for the reception to this series. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying it and enjoying the way that we're doing the videos with the long form and chatting things through. It's so liberating for me to be able to play Football Manager in this way and know that you guys are actually enjoying it. So big up to you guys. Thank you so much for that. And if you haven't subscribed, we hit 95,000 subscribers, which means we're on the home run for 100,000. And it'd be really cool if you're not already subscribed to help me to get to that massive, massive milestone so we can get a lovely plaque, which feels superficial, but also really, really important to me. So please subscribe. We also ended last episode by talking about the affiliate club that we've managed to get, which is Defensor Sporting of Uruguay. They've got amazing youth recruitment. So I'm really hoping we get a few Uruguayan players come through our youth intake. I feel like it will probably take a couple of years to be able to see the impact of this. I'm not expecting it in January when we get our youth intake preview, or in April next year when we actually get the youth intake, for there to be Uruguayan players in there. But it would be quite nice, wouldn't it? I'm also going to be asking, try and get a few more. I feel like you can get loads, like 5, 6, 7 maybe. So, and now that we've got the youth facilities, the training facilities, youth recruitment up to a point where I don't need to be asking for that all the time, I can instead spam the board with requests for affiliate clubs. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing. This season, we are predicted to finish 16th, which I'm sort of okay with it. I always say this, but what I usually do is I take the season preview and then I add a few different places, a few extra places on top. And I would usually, so if we're predicted to finish 16th, I'd be looking at 8th, 9th, maybe 7th this year. Can we push a little bit higher than last year? This is our squad. I've done my squad audit, which, by the way, I don't know why it lives so rent-free in my head, but somebody said you missed the opportunity to call it a squadit. It doesn't even work if you say audit. Do you say audit? It doesn't even, it's not even a good pun, but every time I think about my audit that I do at the end of the season now, I want to call it a squadit. A squadit. I hate you, whoever left that comment. I actually don't. That's really harsh. This is the squad that we are going to be using this year, though. I've popped in Ennio Bruno, who looks to me to have a lot of potential, because that's how confident I am in having him in here. But the squad looks like this. Gargano continues in goal. Donja at right back. We've got Thomas Evans in at centre back, who really does look like he's struggling with the Italian son, the Welshman from Aberbargoed, as somebody did try to teach me in the comments down below. He will start alongside Rollo. Matasser at left back. We've got Torsi, Bruno, Zilli as our midfield 3. If we really need to, we could bring it. Actually, I'm really not going to. Petrosione, please don't let him ever play a game for us again. Annoyingly, I might release. Is it expensive to release him? 850. Nah, I might as well just keep him in case we really need to. But he can't run, and he's 36, and he's injured. He's twisted his ankle as well. Bless him. He's an old man. That feels harsh to say. He's 3 years older than me. We'll then have Spinelli, Campani and Pasqualani as our front 3. And then we've got some good backups. Van der Putter, the legend that he is, as a backup now. He's 35. It probably will be his last season here because his contract is going to expire at the end of this season. So we might need to say goodbye to Van der Putter. A lot of you suggested that the stadium should be named after him. If there's a big hero that comes through that we just have to change the name of the stadium for, then maybe we'll do that. But for now, I like the Stadio Gioventù as well, with this copper bowl aesthetic that we've got going on with our red and yellow colouring. We look cool. We look like a cool football team right now. Let's hope we can be a good football team on the pitch too. We have started our season. We're already out of the Coppa Italia. That's not ideal. But we have beaten Torino in the first game of the season, which is good because Torino have actually caused us a few problems in the past. We were defensively really solid. Look, I'll show you the goals. Let's watch some football. I'm hoping in today's video, by the way, that we'll be able to have some proper live com and some match action to show you, because I'm hoping, wow, that's quick. I'm hoping that we will be able to maybe challenge for a title by the end of the video, and then we can do some live comms in the build up to that or something. There's our lovely new kit look in action. Van der Putter down the left-hand side. Dongia bouncing around, then Rollo smashing it in. Look, we do look good, don't we, in these new kits? Anyway, we've won our first game of the season. We sit happily in 4th. Be lovely to stay there. I'm going to go and play some games now until January, and then, of course, we'll also get our youth intake preview and hope for another golden generation there. Let's go with season number 9. All right, welcome back then to the end of 2031. We are about to tread over into January of 2032. And at this stage here, things are going very well. I want to show you this bit of news, 2 bits of news actually, to share with you before we look at the league season so far. And then, of course, that youth intake preview. Agnello Campani has been named the European Golden Boy. This is after the amazing season that he had last season, and then the really good start to this season. You have a look at his appearances, 37 appearances, 28 goals, a 7.24. Our 20-year-old striker, who has all of the makings of being a really good striker IRL, but also in game. Imagine, like, he is the meta forward that I would be looking to sign anyway. He's quick. He's getting quicker as well. He's massive. He's got really good finishing, and then really good off the ball and things like that too. Great technique. What a player we might well have on our hands here. Listed as a wonder kid and a mercenary, which I've been learning about a little bit in the comments down below. Apparently mercenary just means that they have a really high ambition attribute. So it's not as bad as it necessarily sounds. I think it's high ambition but low loyalty makes you a mercenary, which is kind of makes sense that they're willing to move on and go to new clubs because they're so ambitious. So actually, in terms of development, that's actually a good thing that he's a mercenary. And maybe we're a bit quick to dismiss some of these personality types that players have. They're all to do with those hidden attributes, those personality attributes that make up what personality they are, aren't they? So Campani, golden boy, this season so far has continued that wonderful form. In fact, he's improved on it. He's got 16 goals in 17 games in the league, all starts, and he's also got 1 goal in the cup as well. So 17 and 18 so far this year. His average rating's up massively. One thing that I have noticed is that even our best players have been playing really well. Like, look at last season. Our average ratings haven't been ticking over a 7 all that often. Campani's doing the business. Before I show you the results, and I'll show you really quickly because you can probably see it here. We are 6th in the league, so we've started very well. And another thing, I've done a name fix. You guys win. Enough of you complain about something, then I will actually listen. So fair enough. You were kept going, I lose the immersion because you keep calling it Salento. Whatever, you win. I've put an actual name fix in. And also when I did it, it made me have to go and put in all of my skin again and set up all of my views again. So you've really put me out there, but you're worth it. All right. So, you know, don't say I don't do anything for you. We're 6th after 17 games, 10 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses, 34 points. In touching distance, I'm going to touch wood very, very swiftly there. In touching distance of the title. Who would write us off right now? Me, probably. I don't think we've got the quality to go a bit better, but it's a really good start to the season. Only losing 3. We've lost to Milan, Genoa and Bologna. Juventus at the top, who have won the league for the past 3 seasons, have only lost 2. Genoa and Roma. We lost to Genoa as well. Genoa might be good. Wow. I didn't even notice that they were there in 2nd. They have become a really good football team, it appears. Under Ivan Juric as well. That's quite fun, isn't it? They do have Francesco Pio Esposito up front. And a favourite of mine, Morten Frendrup in the midfield. So I like that. Is that Chris Richards as well? Look. Jed Spence is there too still. That's fun, isn't it? And a centre-back called Julio Cesar. I know you can't actually see these players, can you? They're underneath my face. But wow! He's 6'8". I want him to come through our intake. Why didn't we get him? He's unbelievable. Actually, his value's really low. I would be snapping him up so quickly if I could buy players. But I can't, can I? I'd love him in my team. We did get one 6'8" player, didn't we, back in the day? He was absolutely rubbish. I saw somebody comment asking about what happened to him. He was rubbish. He was getting worse in our under 18. So I think he's been released at this stage. A lot of you are asking for updates on how the under 18s team and the under 20s teams are doing. And the answer is just a short one, really, that we don't really have enough players for it to be worth checking in all that often. I show you the players once they come through the intake. And then if they're good enough, we kind of still need them in our first team squad because our squad's not that big. And if they look like they've got good potential, they're quite swiftly promoted to here. Ennio Bruno was one that I picked out as one that I wanted to bring in. Campani's only 20. Bazzano, I looked at him and thought he looks like he might have potential. If they're good enough, I use them in the first team because they are needed. We don't have enough players for them not to be. Our under-20s look is not a big team either. At this stage, there's not loads to update you on. So if there was, I would happily be doing that, saying, oh, look, the under-18s won their league, or the under-20s. Right now, they are just pretty much just serving that first team squad. And I'm just trying to do the best that I can to develop the players that I've picked out to hopefully develop. At our club where we've got really good coaching, and I've done loads to try and improve the under 18s coaching and the under 20s coaching as well, going through and actually searching for staff and going here, look, on the include and just looking for ones that would come and join our reserves or our youth team and doing it, actually scouting by the attributes to find good staff members to make our coaching setup as good as possible, not just in terms of the first team squad, but also the under 20s and the under 18s as well. A lot of people also asking about loans. We will do loans once I've got enough players to actually loan them out. These guys here, I know that there's an argument to say that some of these players may well develop into really good players, but they're 20 and I just don't think there's enough. I don't think it's worth loaning these players out to hopefully develop them a little bit when actually there is a chance that I might need them here. We don't have loads of players that I kind of just use them as very break glass backups rather than loaning them out to try and develop them, where our coaches, who are pretty good at judging ability now, just don't see them as looking very good. And me, personally, looking at them, just don't see them as being ever particularly usable. They're 20. Their values are low. They don't want big money in terms of contracts. They don't get picked for the Italy under 20s. There's a lot of clues that you can look for to think about, actually, are they going to be good? Now, there's always an argument that you may miss somebody in there, but you kind of have to pick and choose and just sort of also trust me that I'm doing the very best I can in a gameplay sort of sense, I don't actually want to min-max absolutely everything. I don't know if we're going behind the curtain a little bit too much with that, or destroying the fourth wall or whatever it might be, but I kind of want there to be the chance that we miss a really good player and he moves to another team and he does amazingly, and we're sat there ruining the idea that I didn't quite read how good a player was properly. I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down, but I want there to be a sense of this is a story, this is an adventure, and there can be twists and there can be turns. And if we really do clinically min-max, analyze absolutely everything and try and push everything to the nth degree, yes, you'll see success quicker, but it also becomes a bit robotic. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know that everybody plays this game differently, and I know that I've genuinely learned a lot from the people who are suggesting things. And can I just say as well, the people who are suggesting things but not doing it in a way of you are rubbish at this game, you should do this. Thank you to you guys, because you get it. Rather than lecturing. I don't really need to be lectured when I'm playing a game of Football Manager. Anyway, we digress. Let's have a look quickly at our results and how the players have been doing. These are our results so far this season. There's been some great wins in there, actually. After our 2-0 win, we beat Venezia 5-2 away from home. Hat-trick for Campani. What a play, by the way. Ennio Bruno on the score sheet as a 16-year-old. I don't think he's the youngest player ever. I think that is still Zilly, but I will check on that one. Our records. Youngest ever goal scorer is still Gianluca Zilli. Look, he was 15 and something. That makes more sense, okay? So we don't have a new one there, but he is listed as our hot prospect as well. I've got high hopes for Ennio Bruno. He looks like he's making swift progress. He's 6'4". He can play in both positions in the midfield. And again, I'm looking at the value and a few other clues to try and work out. I think his potential might just be really high, basically, is what I'm banking on here. I want to play him and give him game time as much as possible because we need him, and also because I think he's going to be really good. After that, look, a 1-1 draw with Sassuolo. We beat Empoli 5-2. Another goal for Campani. Another 2 goals for Campani against Salernitana. Monza we drew with. We usually a banker to beat them, but we didn't beat them this time. 4-1 win against Napoli. Another Campani hat-trick. Another 2 goals here. We did lose to Bologna. We lost to Milan here after beating Roma. We're beating good teams here. We drew to Juventus, which to me feels like massive progress. I don't know I can't recall what our results have been against them previously, but I always go into those games thinking we might lose 5-0 here, and I'm pretty sure we have done in the past. And then we lost 4-0 to Genoa, who apparently are the best team in the league. They might win the league this year. We were away from home. We then have just beaten Hellas Verona. So we're doing really well. If I show you the squad, of course, the main goal scorer is Campani, but lots of appearances for Bruno. 18 games, he scored twice. Zilli's got 6 goals this season, which is pretty cool. We've got Spinelli, only 2 goals. This is where I'm a bit worried that we are I don't know if we're restricting him or we're just not getting the best out of him. Like, he seems to be developing really, really well. Regardless, if we look at his progress, he is coming along leaps and bounds, but maybe look at that. I mean, the ones under me, there is strength has gone up 6. This guy must have super high potential. Like, his vision's gone up 6. Like, this, he's a serious footballer. We've got a couple going down. Penalty taken's gone down 1. Long throws, that's fine. Free kick taken, that's fine. His determination stayed the same as well, which is always a good thing as well, isn't it? What a player. Maybe we do need to think about getting him closer to the goal. He's a natural roundoiter now. Thomas Muller of his generation. But I do wonder if we just need to try and get him close to this goal. Maybe a 2-striker thing. Maybe go very Italian and go 3 at the back. I'm not sure we've got good enough defenders, though, but maybe 3 at the back protects them a bit. Maybe you bring in, it would be Teresi that would come in. He's played a few games, actually, Teresi, 12 games so far. Teresi could maybe come in as one of our other centre-backs. I'm debating it, but right now we're doing quite well anyway, so I feel like we don't need to, but maybe we can go to a next level if we do change the system. The final thing before I show you the youth intake, this has been a very chatty start to the video. I promise I'll do the next few sections a bit quicker maybe. We have asked for another affiliate club and the board have said yes. So come with me on a journey as we choose a new affiliate club. Now this is sorted by reputation. I kind of want to do it by youth academy. This is what I did for the Defence of Sporting choice. If I do this by academy rating, we've got a few choices up here. I'm kind of thinking maybe like, ooh, Sochaux are there. Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, I think they've got really good, they've got 5-star youth recruitment. Get some Australian new gens maybe. I am just tempted though. Now, this is more to do with So 4-star, they've only got 2.5-star youth recruitment. But I just feel like Sochaux always bring through amazing new gens, right? I think I've signed a lot of players from Sochaux. They've got 4-star youth facilities. Maybe they've got high junior coaching. I don't know if that really affects things or not. Their reputation's 2.5 stars. What's Western Sydney Wanderers? Theirs is 3. Maybe I should go for Western Sydney. I'm going to do Sochaux. That might not be the most meta choice, but this is where that storyline thing comes into it. What feels right for me in the adventure? Sochaux feels right. I'm going to choose them. Right, let me show you our youth intake preview, which looks pretty good again. It is another golden generation. I mean, yeah. Oh, another thing really quickly. A lot of you saying, can you get a new, better head of youth recruitment, head of youth development, sorry. The answer is no. I've really been searching to try and find a better staff member than Filippo Galli. You can't. There's nobody better that can join us that has better attributes, as well as the personality, as well as a few of the other things like his reputation. Like his reputation's higher than the other ones that want to join. I don't know why that is. I really expected there to be more too, especially as you get like the new gen staff members, don't you? And they're usually really good, but right now there's not. So you just kind of have to trust me that I am doing that. I agree that it's somewhere where maybe we can improve things, but right now Galli's done a good job. He's brought through some good youth players, so maybe we'll keep him. He's also pretty old, so he might retire soon anyway. But we'll keep him. We've got a goalkeeper that looks a great prospect. And maybe we do need one. Gargano's been great, but maybe eventually we might need a new one. An attacking midfielder we should keep a close eye on. That if they were amazing, that might mean that we need to change formation maybe. And 2 forwards. Okay, and then also we got a really good one from a B, I'm pretty sure, a few seasons ago. Top prospect in central midfield with a B rating. At this point, it looks promising. It's a golden generation. We're going to go play some more games, and I'll see you when we actually find out how good they are. All right, then. Welcome back to April, where this squad here is doing the business. I was not sure if we'd be able to sustain this. I also joked about being in a title race. We're definitely not in a title race, but we're still 5th in April. That means we are a month away from the end of the season. We are 8 games away from the end of the season, and we are in the European places. If it continues like this, we will be in the Europa League next season. I don't think there's a chance of us getting a coefficient 5th place Champions League place. Looking at the way that I did look into it, I think it will be the Europa League next year, and I'm almost okay with that because it means we've got a better chance of actually progressing. If we go into the Champions League now, we are going to be eaten alive, as we've been eaten alive by a few good teams this year in the league. Like when we lost 4-0 to Genoa, we lost away at Milan 2-0, we lost away at Inter 3-0. You'll notice we haven't lost to Juventus. That is because we haven't played them again yet, though. We play them pretty soon away from home. This is the form as we sit 5th. I'd love to finish 5th or 6th. It would be by far our best ever finish. But what I really think has made the difference is that Agnello Campani has become a world-class striker. And having a world-class, genuine goal scorer in your team can really just elevate you massively. Do you remember how we used to rely on Yamello or Raffaele, who were they just weren't good enough, were they? Whereas Campani, I mean, look at the goal scoring he scored here. There's a goal. There's how many games in a row here? So what's this? 1, 2, 3. Okay, he doesn't score in that one because Pasqualini scores twice. But he scores a hat-trick here. 2 goals there. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And then 2 at the end here as well. It's just so good. Look at him. Look at those lovely up arrows. Look at the progression, the development in this player here. He's got 65 goals now in 132 games for us. This year, he's got 28 league goals in 30 starts. He's got 29 in 31 games in all competitions. It's still just that 1 cup game and 1 cup goal because we're not in Europe or anything like that, are we? 7.39 average rating. 8 player of the matches. 8 of them. Just want to show you the development of his attributes as well on here. I don't think I'm going to stop being amazed by how much the players are growing. I don't know if this is just because of the nature of the save that we're doing, but I'm feeling like I'm seeing so much more development in the players, and I'm hoping that you guys get to see just how much youth players can grow, because you're seeing it almost fast forwarded in the way that we are doing it in the videos. Whereas if you're playing your own save, sometimes I feel like you don't notice it because you're there and you see them all the time. You're like, yeah, he's about the same. Look at the growth. I mean, the ones underneath me here, you can see 5 acceleration at the top there, 6 extra concentration. So he started as 6 concentration, it's just a real reminder to not write off players. When I'm reading comments like, you need to make sure you're developing every player, I agree. You do have to. But also, these players will grow a lot more because they've obviously got that higher potential ability. That's why he became a wonder kid. Whereas players that don't have a high potential ability just won't grow, or maybe they don't have good determination or a good personality, whatever it is that might restrict them from the growth that they can achieve. Some players, though, can turn into this. And this is what has led us to 5th place in the league as we move into April here. We have had a bit of a tough run recently. Otherwise, it could have been even better. We lost to Fiorentina. We lost to Cagliari, and we lost to Inter Milan 3-0 at home. But before that, look at some of these wins in here. 3-1 win away at Napoli, who have not been as good as you would expect them to be. They're 19th. They are probably going to be relegated this year. Napoli being relegated, that's after Lazio had a real fall from grace before that. They have just avoided relegation. I don't think there was anyone else that has gone down, is there, that we've sort of you'd expect to not be in that league. I haven't got the league loaded, so if we did get relegated, by the way, we would now get sacked because I've unloaded the league because I'm that confident, just to keep things moving in the save a little bit quicker. We're looking pretty good though, aren't we? Look at the average ratings. Campani, Mattasera and Dongia. Great season from Dongia at right back. Another one that should not be doing as well as he is. He's a bit unhappy at the moment because he wants a new deal, but I think his deal runs for another 4 years, but I probably will give him a new contract. We can afford, because of the money. By the way, I don't think I showed you the finances. 30 mil still in the bank. We can afford to give big contracts to players, and I have done that with 1 or 2. Zilli's up to 58k. Campani's on 54. Mattasera, Spinelli are the other ones. And then it's Rullo underneath that with 26.5k. Few suspensions at the moment, an injury at their look. Petrosioni is retiring at the end of the season. I have given a lot of game time to Bruno, still developing quite nicely as well. He's played 28 games for us this season. And I haven't changed the formation or the tactic at all at this point. I don't think we need to right at this stage at the moment. It's working really well. We're 5th in the league. Maybe when we get a few more players come through, maybe a change of tactic can actually unlock us going even higher. Maybe we've got enough good players now. I just look at the defence and think maybe we're lacking. But in the attack, Pasqualini's not great, but always delivers. So he's like a Moneyball player where he shouldn't be as good as he is, but he always, he's got 50 goals for us now. That's like 2 seasons in a row where he's hit 10 goals in the campaign. That's not to be sniffed at. So maybe it is just maybe one more quality midfielder. And once we develop Bruno and then a couple of defenders, maybe then a change of tactic, something more attacking, something maybe where you bring in an attacking midfielder or maybe 2 strikers and try and chase those goals a little bit more, unlock the true potential of Spinelli. That's when we go from 5th to challenging at the very top. I can almost see a path towards that now. It would really help if we got a couple of extra good players, because there is a drop-off at the moment when we bring in players that are on our bench. For example, if I have to play Raimondi at right back, who is our backup right back, he's kind of bad. And that is maybe where we're struggling. He does have to play games. He's played 10 games for us this year. And that's at right back. If I think about left back, Teresi has to become our backup left back. And he's a centre back. He's not a left back. He can't cross and he can't really run. And he can't dribble look or anything like that. So he's just very much a centre-back playing left-back. If we can bring through a few youth players that are genuine quality, the whole standard of this first team squad as a whole improves enough that I think we can start to challenge. I actually do believe that right now. So let's have a look at what we've got. If we go to our youth candidates. Okay, we've got 3 elite talents. We have got 5 top talents. We've even got 3 good talents, including an Englishman, Ty Colbran. I don't know why my eyes have been drawn towards him, first of all, on here. But we've got another D'Angelo there, a striker, Massimiliano. Very cool name. Let's have a look at our top talents, though. We have got a keeper. I think keeper was definitely one of the ones that was predicted to be one of our better players here. I remember the attacking midfielder because I said if he's really good, we might need to change formation. Now, maybe he is going to be quite good. Sometimes it says up here if there's a player that's particularly stand out. It doesn't mention one here. So let's have a look at them. Gerardo Fricano, quite short for a keeper, but we know that they can grow a little bit. Has good reflexes, which I always look for. Really good agility too. I wonder, he's 15. I just wonder how many years it's going to take us to challenge at the top now. I'm looking at these players thinking, are these actually going to have an impact? Or are we closer to doing it. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, thinking that he'll never see the team by the time we're challenging for the league, but maybe he will. Fricano then might have a good high potential. Andrea Martucci. Now I'm intrigued by him because I'd really quite like a really good attacking midfielder, I think. Martucci has got he's inconsistent, some good pros other than that though. Agility's good, first touch, technique, decisions. These are really good actually. His mentals are good because that's a 14, a 15 and a 15. 15 vision, 9 passing. I mean, if that improves, it all depends on what his actual potential ability is. He looks good. He's got an unambitious personality though. That's a shame. That might hold him back a little bit. Even if he has a super high potential, my kind of understanding is that if their personality is good, that they're less likely to reach that potential. Unambitious is a bit of a shame. Determination's only at 5 as well. We'll keep an eye on him. He might, I mean, it says he's good here. What I will do is also, another big clue when I do this, I'll show you actually here, is I have a quick look at what they want when you approach to sign them. If they want really big money, it's usually a really good indicator that they're going to be quite good. Which is a thing that I have been using to decide which players I invest time into and invest game time into, and which players sort of just become backups that play in the under 18s or the under 20s. Does Martucci want good money? So future prospect, he wants just a youth contract. Now, sometimes they want immediately contracts here. So perhaps not with Martucci, but we'll see. Whereas if I compare that to Fricano, he has a bit more of a pathway to the team. He wants a full-time contract on 1k a week, look. So immediately, it isn't the be-all and the end-all, but immediately that tells me that he may be slightly better, but you never really know, do you? We've also got Luca or Fate. The other thing, by the way, is when they do sign, have a look at their value and see if other teams want them and if they're interested in them. If you get an Inter Milan interested in your player, it's probably because they've got a really high potential. If you get Chelsea, like for D'Angelo earlier in the save, it's probably because they actually do have quite good potential. Luca Orfe is a striker. Really good technicals, actually, for him. 16 first touch, 12 finishing is good enough at this stage. Good technique. Work rate's only 7. Composure's a bit low, but these can be improved. Really quick. I see a little bit of... I mean, attribute-wise, he looks like he could be good. Again, it depends what his potential is actually like, isn't it? Okay personality... Okay determination, Luca Orfe. We will keep an eye on him. I will get all of these signed. Really quickly then, a left back, Neri. 5'2", just a little lad, 1 jumping reach. It's the first thing I notice. He may be. Bracaglia, great name. Ferdinando Bracaglia. Right-footed Italian centre-back, cultured centre-back. Actually, I'm reading centre-back, so I just saw it there. He's actually a midfielder, listed as a midfielder. Would you maybe move him to centre-back? What's his tackling? Tackling's good. Positioning's okay. He's tall. Physical's improved. Maybe I'd go centre-back. I'm saying that mainly because I need a centre-back rather than where I don't really need as many midfielders. And I kind of wonder, with his decent passing and his frame, maybe he could be a centre-back. We'll see with him, Bracaglia. Really quickly, we've got Vincenzo Di Gaetano, who's a right midfielder, which is a bit... I was going to say it's a bit of an ick, but that's so harsh. Which is it isn't great, though. He's not in a natural position we'd use him. Federico Barellari. Lovely Italian name and hair. Young centre-back. Potential, maybe. And Baccardo, a right-back. Now, we do need a backup right-back, so I'm hoping that this guy's potential is right. Although, not great cons of their consistency. If these develop, maybe. Can he cross? No, of course he can't, because new gen wing-backs can never cross, can they? How good's the Englishman? Unambitious centre-back. Where was he born, actually? Rochester. Is that how you say that? I don't know if that's how you say that. Anyway, I will have a proper squad audit or a squadit of these... ridiculous, of these players, and we'll get them signed up, get the good ones signed up. A bit of an update too, we have completed our training facilities upgrades. We now have 5-star training facilities, and I will continue to be keeping an eye on whether I can ask for a new youth facilities upgrade. At the moment, the answer to that is no. Let's go to the end of the season and see if we can maintain this, see if we can finish in the European spots, because that would be glorious. And it is glorious. We've just completely maintained it. We finished 5th. We didn't have to do too much. We had some ups and downs over the last few games of the season, but the main thing is we are a Europa league team. We will be playing in a European competition next year, having only used our youth intake players so far. It's taken us, well, we're going into our 10th season here, but we've made such good progress here. And have a look at this. Just look at these numbers, read them and enjoy them. Agnello Campani, 36 league goals in a 38 game season. This man is the real deal. This man may well be the reason that we can go and win this league eventually. He is unhappy. He does want to move to a bigger club. I've locked him down. He's got 3 years left on his deal, but I will be trying to extend that. And he does have a 3-year optional extension that I can go and use on him. So he will be staying whether he likes it or not, because this guy, he's our ticket to the big time. I'm sure of it. He got the highest average rating as well. He got the, well, we got, actually, Matasera got 3rd highest average rating and the 2nd highest assists in there too, as well as the second, or the joint top most number of yellow cards there with 14 underneath my face. Also, player of the matches, he got the most. Agnello Campani. What a man, what a legend. This is the squad that we've been using for the remainder of this season. One big update is, having signed those youth players, I have given actual game time to Andrea Martucci. I almost wrote him off a little bit because of his personality, because he only wanted that youth contract, as you can see that he's on here. But then as soon as I signed him, he got this value, and our coaches loved him. In terms of his potential ability, look, our coaches, I don't know why we're being told about that by our goalkeeping coach here at the moment, but all of the signs that I look for to look for somebody who is actually high, who has high potential, he has all of them. And I was looking again at these attributes: the 15 balance, the 15 vision, the 14 decisions, the passing, hopefully if that improves, the technique. He could become a really good attacking midfielder, I think. Now, he does need to improve a lot, but what I was just thinking was, if I give him game time, maybe that's the best way to improve him. So I actually started playing with a 4-2-3-1 for the second half, or those final 8 games of the season. So if you take Torti out, Martucci comes in. He's not far off first team level, according to the star ratings anyway. And it kind of works with what we're doing. So I played him in 6 games and he did okay. And we did okay as well. Look at that, 37 goals and 39 from Campani. What a man he is, by the way. Our results looked like this. I said it was up and down. We lost 5-1 to Juventus. I said I was worried about losing 5-0 to them. We lost 5-1. They're so good. They've won the league again, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, they won the 97 points. 4 in a row for them. Outrageous. Anyway, it didn't actually put us back all that much, because we beat Como, drew to Udinese, lost to Genoa again. Genoa finished 2nd. That's ridiculous. So good. And then we actually won our last 3 games, which was really cool to see. Campani, this game against Lazio, we beat them 5-0, look, away from home, using that 4-2-3-1 with Martucci in the number 10 spot. Campani scored 5. Do you know what? I'm going to show you the goals, because you want to see the action. You want to see our main man scoring goals. I'm going to show you them. These are the 5 goals. Okay, they're really quick. Did you see that go in? That's how fast he is. No. Let's just show you that one again. I mean, it's a header from a corner. That's the other thing. As long as we get our set pieces locked down and do everything in the best possible way, he's going to score goals from set pieces too, because he's massive. He's 6'5", isn't he? Somebody did say, was he 6'6" at the start and he's lost an inch? I don't know how that happens, but apparently it did with him. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Here's a little, I mean, that's a poacher's finish there as it bounces around in the box. That was 2-0. Okay, I wanted to show you the other kits, but I suppose this is against a blue team, so we're going to be wearing our home kit. Look at that towering header he scores. I guess we need to keep him with the number 47 as well. It's becoming iconic with him. I love it. Shall I buy a Catanzaro shirt with Campani 47 on the back? If anyone from Catanzaro is watching, I say this because somebody did send me a Weymouth shirt with Scott Lucas on after that video. If anyone wants to send me a Campani shirt with 47 on the back, I would happily receive that and post it to all of the socials. He's so good. He's so good. And it means that we'll be playing European football next year, which should mean our reputation improves, which should mean that we might be able to improve our youth facilities. You see how all of the blocks fall into the correct place. Hopefully those things happen. What I'm going to go and do now is another squad audit, or a squadit, and we'll be ready for our 10th season in charge here. I should also update you before I do that we do have a new affiliate club in place. I didn't show you this before, but we do have Sochaux, who are our new affiliate club. It means that we should get some French players from Sochaux through our youth intakes. We didn't get any if I show you the under 18s, we've got a Croatian in Begovic, who's a goalkeeper. If I show you the under 20s, we didn't ever get any Uruguayans through, did we? So I did think it would take a couple of years for that to happen, but we'll look out for that in the next couple of years, won't we? Let me go and have a look through the squad and let's get ready for our 10th season in charge here. Okay, so this is what the team is going to look like heading into our 10th season at the club. Gargano continues in goal. Donja at right back we've only got Calaro or Raimondi as the backup here, but they will be the two. We're going to have Evans and Rullo with Teresi as the third choice. Teresi might be better than Evans. I think they're probably quite close. If you actually compare them, is Teresi better than Evans here? Thomas Evans gets in the team mainly because he's Welsh and he's got sunburn. I think Teresi might... maybe Evans is just slightly better. He's a year younger as well. They're quite similar, to be honest, and both play loads of games because we have to rotate at centre-back. The other backup centre-back, I'm going to bring this man into the first team fold. It's Ferdinando Brocaglia. He's got low determination. He's probably a midfielder, but we're going to train him as a centre-back here, look, because I think he actually could do it if he reaches anywhere near his potential, and he's going to be fourth choice. So he'll be like the backup for the left-sided centre-back, if that makes sense. Then we've got Matasera at left-back, and we don't really have another left-back except for Teresi, which is another reason to go with Evans starting, because if you need Teresi, you can play left-back, I suppose. Bruno is going to play, and then actually one thing to mention, we're going to go with our 4-2-3-1. I think I'm going to stick with it because Martucci, with his massive value now, 6.6 million to 8.2 million pounds, still on that youth contract. He has agreed to sign the 2.6k per week professional contract. So that 2.6 that he did demand, by the way, per week, also is another clue that he might actually be quite good, as well as the fact that he is listed as our hot prospect now. And that was Bruno before. And I think Bruno's going to be brilliant. He's only 17, but our hot prospect is Martucci. So I'm going to invest in him by giving him game time now and just hope that he is another missing piece of this jigsaw that we're trying to build. So Bruno and Zilli as the deeper midfielders in this squashed up 4-2-3-1. Martucci as the 10. Spinelli as the right-sided winger. Again, I know that I still want to use him further forward, but at the moment it's out of necessity to use him there because we've got two good wingers then. Spinelli on the right, Pasqualini on the left, and then Campani, of course, through the middle, who's still upset, but we're going to be all right. The squad's a bit smaller because I've been thinking about who's going to be in our under-20s, who's going to be in our under-18s to try and get a bit of a squad together there a little bit. I've actually made a few of the younger players in the squad available for the under-20s as well when necessary, but I will need to keep an eye on that in case I need them in the first team squad, but I know what I'm doing with that. I think it's going to be okay. This season, after finishing 5th last year and becoming a Europa League team, we're predicted to finish 17th. That's actually better. I know it was 16th last year, but that was 450 to 1 odds. We're now 250 to 1 odds. So I'm going to count that still as very slight progress. Have a look at that Dream 11, by the way. So many Juventus players in that Dream 11 because they're 5 to 6 odds on to win the title again for a 5th season in a row. So we'll keep an eye on that. Our reputation up to that 4 stars now. Still not continental because I think we've not played in the continental competition yet. But also here, look, our youth facilities have dropped down to 3.5 stars. I can't ask for an improvement, even though they still mention youth in here. Look, they want us to develop the best youth system in the country, which they're pleased with, but they still won't let me actually improve the youth facilities, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. They also want us to develop players using the club's youth system. It's good that it's back in the club vision, in the club objectives. It'd be nice if they could actually improve those facilities again now, but we wait and we hope as far as that's concerned. Another little update. I have brought in another affiliate club. Sochaux confirmed, but also we looked at them last time when we had a look at the options. Western Sydney Wanderers are another youth affiliate club for us. 5-star youth recruitment, 4-star youth facilities, a decent reputation as well, better than Sochaux's. And it does say that we may benefit from some of these players coming through our youth team ranks. So fingers crossed for some good Australians in the future. 3 good teams in our affiliate teams at the moment. Still not done any loans just because I don't think our squad is quite big enough, but we are really close that if there was a player that I thought wasn't going to get any game time, play it maybe like Orfe when he's a bit older, Brocaglia when he's a bit older. At the moment, the players, we've still got 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds, and these under-20s here, I don't see a world where these guys need a loan. Longo is in the first team squad, look. Orfeas already. None of the players that I think, maybe Fricano is, but he's not old enough. He's 16. So we're not quite at loaning stage yet. I am thinking about it though, but players like Rafa, I just don't think it's worth it. Low determination as a personality and an attribute. He's just not going to be very, he's 21 already. It's just not really worth loaning him, in my opinion. Anyway, let's go and play some games though. Let's get into this 10th season. We will go up until January. We'll get a new intake preview and we need to try and improve. And we'll also be starting our Europa League campaign, our first European campaign. So I'll be back with some news about how we're doing in Europe and all of those other things in January. Okay, and here we are then. It's the 31st of December, 2032. And it's been a good start to the season. Let's not get too disheartened. We're 7th in the league and I've kind of had to tweak things and change things. We're actually not that far away from being exactly where we were last season. Look, we are 2 points off 5th and 5 points off 4th. So that's kind of how we ended last season. We finished 5th, but quite a long way off finishing those top 4 places. I'm still relatively confident that we could maybe overturn Genoa and maybe Roma above us to try and finish in this top 6 again. And I think I'd be happy with that. It feels like progress. This year, though, we did start with the idea of going with our new 4-2-3-1 system. I have kind of abandoned it and gone back to the 4-3-3. I just wonder whether Martucci's not quite ready. He's actually played 8 games and got 2 goals, look. But I did maybe think it was holding us back a bit. And we've started to see a bit of regression, even though his value's gone up, even though he is still very much listed as our hot prospect. I'm wondering if it's his unambitious personality. His determination, I think that's gone up. Was it 6 before? I'm going to check, actually. I feel like that's maybe gone up a little bit. Like, that would be nice if his yeah, it has gone, it's gone up arrow, but it doesn't have the numbers on there. If I go back and forth, no, it still doesn't have the numbers. So, but still, hopefully that does improve. What I was finding is that we weren't winning games. After a good start to the season, we beat Atalanta and then beat Lazio. Campani carrying, as per usual. We then lost 2 games. We lost to Torino. We lost to Inter Milan. Now, on the surface, that's not a bad thing, is it? Martucci actually scored in this game here. But then we lost again to Fiorentina in the league. And I decided about this stage to maybe just see if by going back to the 4-3-3, it improved things. And it did seem to. So I've kind of gone with a bit of both, really. You'll see he's played 8 games. So we've done the 4-2-3-1 more than just those first few games there. But having gone back to it, we've been a little bit better. And recently, this run here, look, between the end of October and the start of, well, about mid-December, even actually all the way to the end of December, been a lot better. So we've climbed back up the league after that. Again, the name that you see on here, Campani. He's so good. He is carrying. Europa League campaign going very well so far. We are in the Europa League phase. We are 4th in the league. I've just also seen, though, and I hadn't really considered this before, there's some really good teams in the Europa League. It's really frustrating. There is Liverpool. There is Atletico Madrid. There is Ajax. I was kind of like, we might be able to win this, especially after the way that we started things. We've played Donetsk Streda and beat them. Monaco, Shakhtar Donetsk, and PAOK of Greece. So, and we've won those comprehensively. A 5-0 win against PAOK, 5-1 against Shakhtar. I was thinking we're going to win this. We have also drawn to Ghent and Rosenborg. 3-3 with Rosenborg, so maybe we're not going to win it. But then I saw the fact that Liverpool are in there and some other decent teams that maybe we won't. Atletico Madrid. But why are these guys in the Europa League? What's happened? Why are Liverpool in there? Anyway, we'll go as far as we can and it will all be good for the reputation. Our reputation is still national, even though we've played in the Europa League. Now, I'm hoping that next season that goes to Continental and that'd be a nice little improvement too. We've also improved our youth facilities. They said yes, they've improved our youth facilities. They're also looking for a new affiliate club. I haven't added any extra ones yet. So we've got Sochaux with Western Sydney Wanderers and then hopefully another one as well. When I look at that list, they keep just giving me the option to just pick my own one, which is quite nice. So I'm going to keep trying to add as many as possible, I think. Now, though, before we continue, I need to show you our intake preview, which is an excellent intake, golden generation, but we've only got Bs. It's not as good as usual, is it? So we've got a goalkeeper that looks a great prospect, a fullback that has plenty of promise, and then a forward who could be considered a fine prospect. and then it jumps down to a D for the other positions too. So I'm not sure I'm expecting as much, even though this, which looks pretty poor on the surface, is still considered to be a golden generation for the club. If every year is a golden generation, by like averages and the way that what that actually means, they can't all be golden generations, can they? So it doesn't really make sense, especially when it looks as bad as this one, unless these guys are, if these guys are really good, they would be an A, wouldn't they? So I'm not expecting as much, but we'll see. We'll see in April. For now, though, we continue. I will probably be flip-flopping between this and the 4-2-3-1 as usual, and we'll see what we can do. I'm fairly confident we can finish. Well, we'll finish at least top 7 because we've got a really big gap to Reno already. I'm fairly confident that if we can put one or two things together, if Campani keeps scoring, he's top goal scorer again, by the way. 19 this year in 19. What a man. What a player. He's getting better and better as well. And he's actually no longer unhappy as well. So now might be the time to get that contract sorted. I'll have a look at that as well. Why is there a guy who plays for Juventus called Lee Doherty? He is so good. I look at Campani and think he's the best striker in the world. Then I look at Juventus' striker and think he's not the best striker in the world, is it? That guy's a joke. Can we get one of these through our intake, please? He came through at Birmingham. That's just depressing, isn't it? Anyway, we'll do our best. I'll see you in April for the youth intake. All right, actually, here we are on the 1st of April. It's actually a little bit better than I first thought it was going to be. We are 4th in the league after 30 games. We've got a 4-point gap to 5th. There is a very solid chance that we could get ourselves into the Champions League for next year. That feels ahead of schedule. I'm not going to lie to you. It scares me a little bit because I think if we do get into the Champions League, we might get wiped the floor with a little bit, but maybe that's not true because when we play good teams in this league, we can get results against them. There just feels like there's also the opportunity to get absolutely smashed by good teams. We lost 4-0 to Juventus. We lost 4-0 to Juventus, so twice there. We lost 3-0 to Inter. We lost, the results on the screen there, you can see them. We lost 3-1 to Milan as well. Like Juventus beating us 4-0 in home and away games kind of tells me that when we come across a proper big European team that they'll probably do the same to us, which makes me scared for the Champions League. But I suppose that doesn't matter. If we get into it and we get the reputation from that, it only helps with our mission to bring the best youth players through to build the best team that we can. It can only be a good thing, even if it is ahead of schedule. Campani is just taking us to that place, though. He's just a goal scorer. He's got 100 goals for us now. You can just about see it at the bottom here. Look, 100 goals in 168 games for us. He is a bona fide Catanzaro legend in my eyes. I actually don't think he is listed as a legend. He's favoured personnel only. The icon from our save is Pietro Matacera. Crunch as well, but he was a defender from 8. He's a real player, so we don't count it. I suppose Matacera is real as well, but he's our guy. He's played 278 times for the club now. He is an icon, but Campani surely is going to go above this. Gagano's on there. Van der Putter's on there. Oh, by the way, I don't think I showed you the transfers out, did I? We did lose a couple of big players last season. Van der Putter did finally leave. He's gone to Antwerp. He's 37 now and about to retire, but he was so important for us, wasn't he? The goals he scored in these seasons were just vital, really. These earlier seasons here, look, in Serie A, where he got 8 and things like that. So vital for us. It's a bit sad to see him go. The other players who left, look, these are just youth players, and you can kind of see the ones from each year, the ones who just leave. I think if I go to youth as well, will that shows the ones who came in. Yeah, there's some that leave as well here, look. If I go to released players, will that show a few more? Yeah, it does. So these guys are the ones that are leaving too. Petricioni retiring, for example. I'm looking at where they end up going and trying to make myself feel better about my decision to not develop them. And most of the time, I feel like I've been pretty vindicated by the clubs that they've joined. Like Vernozzi joining Guigliano and Sestri Levante and Lumazzani, Haroya. Maybe Emerson might be a slight regret because he did go to Cruzeiro, our Brazilian intake player, but he's 21 now and he still looks a bit rubbish. But perhaps he had a better chance of becoming quite good. He did get under 20 caps for Brazil as well, so he might be a bit of a miss. He's the type of player that we should go and have a look at when we do a video where we actually dive into the potential abilities and current abilities and try and work out what were missed opportunities and where were we where do we make the right choices and which players develop the most, etc. when we can actually, you know, have a look at potential abilities and things like that, which I feel like we'll definitely do a video on that. Maybe a stream. Would you be interested if we did a live stream on YouTube and dived into the save that way? I don't know. Let me know. I know that you'll be interested in seeing him behind the scenes, and you can get skins and things that will show everything, I think. I'm pretty sure anyway. So we'll definitely have a look at that. But yeah, these guys left and I don't think I updated you. We did ask for that new affiliate, and I have brought in a new affiliate club. It is Stabæk in Norway. Stabæk they've got really good youth recruitment. Norwegian team. That's why I've gone for them. Decent facilities, good training facilities. Oh, the reputation's a bit lower, but this youth recruitment just made me think maybe we'll get some good Norwegian players through our intake. Their new facilities are looking pretty good. 4-star youth facilities. We're actually maxed out on training and youth recruitment. We're actually maxed out on training facilities now, which is always really nice, isn't it? We're going quite well. Now, though, it is the 1st of April, so we need to look at that intake. And this intake, supposedly not as good as previous years. Only 3 players rated at a B. So let's see. Youth candidates this time around are Zanoni, Colombo, and then Rossini. And then after that, they're just good talents. Now let's start at the top here then. Let's go for Donato Zanoni, who's a striker. He looks like maybe, does it mention anybody up here? No. Oh, it's actually changed now to good intake. So it's not even a golden generation once it's actually come through. At first look, this appears to be a good group of young players. That is a bit more in line with what we're expecting, isn't it? But still, good star ratings on these guys. Zanoni is a striker, 5'9", good finishing, good off the ball, okay physicals, low determination, and 3 for determination here. So maybe he's not going to reach any potential that he might have. Quite a lot of cons in there too. What's this one? Low determination. Yeah, makes sense. So Zanoni, we'll keep an eye on him. Colombo, goalkeeper. I just don't know if a goalkeeper is going to make a big difference to us, but if he's really good, it might help. Perfectionist personality is quite fun. Really good reflexes. 6 foot isn't too bad. I might grow a little bit. Aerial reach is still quite low. Can't really kick. First touch at 4. Vision of 4. He's a bit blind. Colombo was famously a bit blind though, wasn't he? So there is that. He might be good. We will see. Alessio Rossini is a midfielder. Left-footed, low determination again. Why do they all keep coming through with low determination? Also, is this guy a centre-back? 6'1", good tackling. Passing's a bit low. I was thinking like cultured Italian ball-playing defender, but maybe his passing isn't quite good enough. Defensively, he's quite good. He's a natural ball-winning midfielder and he's tall, which makes me think he's a centre-back, especially when we need more centre-backs. So maybe we'll turn him into that. There's a few more players here. If any of them jump out, you'll obviously see them later on down the line. But I'll go and check out these youth players, offer them the contracts, see what type of wages they want, and get these guys signed up. But now it's about finishing this season. And the big news is that we qualified from the Europa League phase, 4th. We went through to the knockouts, missed out the playoff round, went through to the round of 16, and we've already won against PSV Eindhoven, 7-4 on aggregates. You can see we played the 4-2-3-1 with Martucci in there for the second leg here. We won 4-2. Bruno, Pasqualini, and Pasqualini hat-trick, actually. It was something like, was it 7-2, 9-2? 7-2 on aggregate. 7-3, sorry, on aggregate. We've basically done an Arsenal on them, haven't we? It was a really big win. It takes us through to the quarterfinal. We've got Stuttgart. I think we can beat Stuttgart. Liverpool are still in it, but they're playing Atletico Madrid. So one of the 2 big teams is going to be out there. And then the rest of the teams are rubbish. Brighton, Schalke, Celta Vigo, Spurs, Stuttgart. We could win this. Or at least maybe until we come up against Liverpool or Atletico. That's kind of how I feel. And maybe I am writing off teams like Tottenham and Brighton and Schalke a little bit. But why not? Why can't we go on a Europa League run now? And if we do, we'll do some live comms, I reckon. So I'm going to go to the end of the season now. But if there is a proper Europa League run, I might be back before that. Let's, before we go, there's one person I really wanted to show you. And that is Ennio Bruno. I think we might have a special one here. He's made so much progress. He is really coming along leaps and bounds. He's got under 21 caps for Italy now. I don't know if he had those before. 6'4" midfielder, though. An engine in our midfield. He wants to be a playmaker as well because he can't really tackle, but decisions are great. Look, balance is great for 6'4". He wins the headers in there. Really like the look of it. I think he looks really good. And his potential is really high. I'm actually surprised, shocked a little bit that Martucci's picked as our hot prospect. What is it? What actually calculates who your hot prospect is? Is it just the young player that you've got that has the highest potential ability? And what's the age cap on there? I know that people watching, you guys will probably know the answers to that. So you can let me know in the comments down below. So that, why is Martucci above Bruno? Is it his potential ability, or is it the fact that, is Bruno too old now at 18? But he was, when he was still 17, he wasn't listed. Martucci was above him. Tells me I think his potential ability is higher. These are the things you have to look for in a save like this, isn't it? I'm excited though. Europa League run, hopefully a top 4 finish, Champions League qualification. Let's go to the end of the season because this could be a really important one. Okay, so I lied. I'm actually back a little bit early, and that is because we've made the Europa League final. It's against Liverpool, and I did record it as a live com, so this is how it went. This is the team. Gargano in goal, Donji at right back with Matasera at left back, Rullo and Evans, although I am debating. You're not that tired, are you, Evans? Maybe Teresi. I feel like Teresi might be a little bit better. I've been using both, but Teresi is either footed. I'm going to go Teresi for this one. Torti, Bruno, Zilli, Spinelli on the right-hand side, Pasqualini on the left, and then Campani through the middle. Campani, really very tired, but I do just think we need the quality. So I'm going to pick him. He's going to at least start. And then if we need to swap him, we'll swap him. As I give a squad number there to one of the youth players. I've actually just done my end of season squad audit, which is a weird time to do it right before the final, but I just wanted to go through and get a good handle on what the squad actually looks like. Here we go. This is the Liverpool team. They've got a new gen striker. They've got Florin Wirtz, a Bosley, Gravenberch still there, Usman Diamande, a centre, a goalkeeper called McKenna, Dorgu playing left back, a guy just called David playing right back, who's very good. Look at that. They've scored. It's I've got it on only comms, and Liverpool have taken the lead. It's Mercier's ran through and smashed it past Gargano. We're 1-0 down already after 9 minutes, and I didn't even catch it live. That's stressful. Liverpool corner, back post, it's in. Usman Diamande. Right, we need to change something. So we're going to go to the 4-3-3. We are going to get Campani off and put Spinelli up front, I think, because he's just so tired. We will bring on Parisi. We will also bring on the youngster, Martucci. I've done the wrong person. We'll also bring on Fortorti Martucci in the number 10 role here. I don't know what difference this bringing on a different centre-back is going to do. Oh, there's a mistake there. It's a goal. Spinelli has capitalised on the mistake right as I was about to take him off. And do you know what? With that, I am going to cancel. We've got 20 to play. I'm going to berate them and see if we can get... We just need another bit of luck. Maybe a counter-attack from a corner. Or this is more likely to go straight in from Usman Diamande. Yeah, all right. Or Bernardinho Hierro. All right. For a second, we had a bit of hope there. That was nice. It's a pleasure to have made it to a final. And I felt like we had to do it in some way as a live com. But Liverpool are the Europa League champions this year. Yeah. Well done, Liverpool. Liverpool win the Europa League. And for us, it's a pretty impressive runners-up. But ultimately disappointing. Okay, so yeah, we lost. It was, to be honest, expected. As soon as it was Liverpool in the final, I was just hoping that they'd get knocked out before that point. I said it all along the season, didn't I? If it was Liverpool or Atletico, I felt like we'd lose. And we kind of put up a fight. It was kind of a weak little fight that they kind of held us at arm's length a little bit, like a little brother that was just being annoying. We got the goal back with Spinelli, but yeah, we were never likely to win that game, were we? I've actually finished off the season after that. We had one game to go. We beat Napoli by 2-1. Napoli, by the way, last season, I don't think I gave you the update. They managed to avoid relegation on goal difference on the final day as well, look. Otherwise, they would have been relegated, which it would have been wild. Instead, it was Monza. Did Monza come back up? Or are they coming back up this year? I hope they are, because I do like playing them. I finished off the season anyway. This time, Napoli finished 12th. We have finished... Atalanta in 19th, by the way, is really rubbish for them. They've been rubbish in this save generally. They've been, look at that. They did get relegated and came back up, and now they've been relegated again. They are struggling. But yeah, we finished 4th. We are a Champions League team. It was comfortable in the end. 78 points compared to the 69. The last time that I gave you an update, it looked like it would be done, and it just has been. The results leading up to that Europa League final, by the way, we beat Brighton in the semi-finals. We drew away from home and smashed them 4-0 at home. Campani with 2, Matasera and Zilli. All of those are OGs of this save, aren't they? They are the main men, or 3 of the main men anyway. Before that, we beat Stuttgart. We lost 1-0 away, but then beat them 3-1 at home, using that home advantage. in between that, the results in the league were really good. I kind of did go back to this 4-3-3 overall. But across the whole season, Martucci did play 13 or start 13 games, which is decent. You see the stats of the players on here. It was a 42 goal season for Campani. So good. 21 goals for Pasqualini overall as well. A lot of them in the Europa League. Playing in Europe gives opportunities for other players to score goals. He got 14 and 13 in the European competitions. He's been such an unsung hero of this save, hasn't he? Luca Pasqualini. He did great last year. Bruno, coming on leaps and bounds, as I showed you before, got 8 goals from midfield too. Going to be value's gone up as well. It's going to be a superb player for us. Other big news is that I extended Campani's contract. He is now with us until 2038. Same can be said for Zilli, who's here till 2038 as well. Even though they're unhappy, they've got long contracts. Spinelli is 2038 as well. The main guys I've managed to lock down basically for another 5 years because I do them mostly at the same time and I put in these optional 3-year extensions. So then I just trigger those extensions unless they are really asking for a new contract, and then often I just give them because we want to keep people happy, and the one place I can spend money is on the contracts for the players, isn't it? Really good season though. We are a Champions League team. It does mean that this should go to Continental on the tick over for season number 11. But a Champions League team with players like Martucci coming through, with Bruno coming through and improving, we're getting better. I'd love a better defender. Right back, centre back. Matasera can continue. A really good centre-back coming through could be game-changing. And if they don't, maybe it is a tweak of system, because I thought the 4-2-3-1 was it. Maybe I need to tweak again that also will be able to include Martucci here. Maybe we should keep Martucci as a backup and give him game time here and there whilst he's only 17. I don't know. Let's go and do a squad audit for season number 11. And let's go and get ourselves into the Champions Bloody League. Come on. Okay, season number 11 and big news. Potentially controversial news. Because on your screen, you will see Lorenzo D'Angelo. D'Angelo, however you say it properly. A former youth intake player from this save. He is back. Now, at the start of the save, we said things like I can't sign anybody. However, I asked you guys what was your opinion on this. He was sold to Chelsea for £10 million all of these years ago. He's played no football for them, and he was on a free contract. I asked you guys on the community page. I put a tweet out. I wanted to know your opinions. How would you feel about bringing him back whilst also knowing that I was going to do it anyway? Because actually, when it comes to these saves, this is my explanation for this. And you might hate this or you might not, but ultimately, I play these saves to have an adventure. And I kind of go with what my gut says about what feels right to go and do. And I'm not trying to do a forum post challenge and trying to stick to the rules or something else. I'm playing a Football Manager save of my own here. And I feel like this also, in terms of my own morals of the save, this fits quite nicely into it because I've signed him on a free. He was our intake player. We brought him through. He played 3 full seasons for us. He didn't play for Chelsea. And I've only offered him a contract. I've not signed him. I've just offered him a contract. Is the way that I'm not even trying to justify it because I would have done this 10 times out of 10 to do it because I love a storyline in Football Manager. I think when you boil it down, this is the entire essence. I did a bit of a spiel on it at the start of the video anyway, didn't I? Lorenzo D'Angelo being offered like an olive branch to return as a sign to the other players that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. A message to Campani, to Zilli, that actually they want to leave, but do they really want to leave? Because look what happened to D'Angelo. He went to Chelsea, didn't play football, and then he's come back 5 years later, and he's not even going to be a starter. If this was a game changer, if he was like super good and I'd spent 30 million to bring him back, I feel like that would go against the premise of the save and the essence of the way that we're playing this save. The fact that he was on a free, he was actually already released. I didn't sign him from Chelsea. He was a free agent when I approached him. And the fact that he's not even necessarily going to be a starter, it made sense to me. So welcome back, Lorenzo D'Angelo. I'm happy to have him back, especially as after actually, technically we did already do a transfer earlier on when we loaned him back after selling him. Like he was the one we have kind of done a transfer. I suppose it is a bit of a shame because if we didn't bring him back, then actually you could have said at the end of the save, we didn't make a single transfer. But ultimately this felt right to me. So D'Angelo is back. And I've done another squad audit ready for our 11th season here. This is going to be our squad. We're going to have Gargano as our first choice keeper with Gonella and Begovic as our backup goalkeepers. We're going to have Evans, who is currently playing right back, not always playing right back. Donjia as our right back with Raimondi as the backup there. We're going to have Rollo, Teresi, and Thomas Evans as our centre backs. They will rotate. Same as before. Matasera as our left back. Teresi as the backup left back. Bruno, Zilli, Torti, although Torti is not usually going to play there. That would actually be Parisi, although actually that would usually be Spinelli like this. Bruno and Zilli in our midfield too, if we're going to go with the 4-2-3-1. If we went back to the 4-3-3, which I still might, it would be Torti in here. But I'm going to go with D'Angelo back in the team here, rotating with Martucci, who we're trying to develop a little bit. Spinelli on the right, Pasqualini on the left, Campani through the middle. And Campani's already played one game this season and scored twice in it. We drew 3-3 with Lazio away from home, but 2 goals from... I'll show you the goals. Why not? Maybe... we won't be wearing our away kit in this either, will we? Because it's against Lazio again. I want to show you the lovely new kits. Campani with the goals, though. He actually took this corner and then it comes back to him, look, as he smashes it in. I don't know why he's on corners. I might need to look into that. I don't know why he's 6'5" and he's on probably our main threat from corners, taking them. They equalise. I mean, they're going to equalise a few times in this game. They actually took the lead here. Look, it's not great defending. Who is that? Is that no? That's Evans in the middle there, isn't it? Deflected in. Gargano might not be good enough as our keeper, but he is definitely our best keeper at the moment. Ganella, I'm hoping he was going to develop, but he doesn't seem to have very much. Campani made it 2-2, and then we made it. No, they made it 3-2. With this goal here, smash past Gargano there, look. And then we equalised towards the end. I can't remember who scored this goal. Who was it? It was Pasqualini. He is a goal scorer. Evans down the right-hand side. Pasqualini towering header back post. 3-3. Heading into our... I mean, we are a Champions League team, remember? 11th season. We are predicted to finish 11th. 100-1. That tells me we can challenge for the title. Maybe we won't challenge for the title. Juve are favourites because they've won 5 in a row. They're probably going to win it again. They've won their first game as well, 4-0. They beat Como. We're ready to go. I'm going to go and attack this season. We're going to see how we're going to do in the Champions League. We are now officially a continental team. Although it hasn't helped us to be able to request an improvement to the youth facilities. They're still not giving us that option, which is a bit of a shame. But maybe they will eventually, especially as they want us to develop the best youth system in the country. And they say that we failed. But it also says we are very pleased with the work done to improve the club's youth system. But I failed. Like, I'm getting mixed signals, lads. What do you actually want me to do here? They also say develop players using the club's youth system they're delighted with. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a mess with our objectives, but we move. Let's go and see how we do in the first half of our 11th season. All right, welcome to the midway point of season 11. We're 5th. We're doing okay. It's very similar to last season, actually. We're in touch and distance of 4th still. Genoa are that team that are in 4th. We are only 6 points behind 3rd. And if you really want to go a bit crazy, we're only 9 points off the top. And guess who are top? Juventus. I'm really frustrated with how good Juventus have actually become, because if it was changing every year and sometimes teams have a good season, sometimes they have a bad season, you're in with the chance of catching everybody a bit cold and winning the league. Right now, Juventus are so dominant that I don't see a chink in their armour where we would be able to jump in and win this league. What we're going to have to do to win this Serie A is to go toe-to-toe with them. And that just feels like a really big step. I was maybe hoping to make more of a step towards that this year with the development of some of our players like Ennio Bruno, who, by the way, has been sensational. He's got 8 goals in 14 games, look. Every time that we check in with him, he's becoming a better player. However, it hasn't quite taken us to the next level. And I wonder if that's because of injuries. Zilli's missed loads of games injured, look. He's only played 2 games so far this season. So maybe that's why. We've still got players who aren't happy about wanting to leave. And I wonder if that's holding us back as well, because we know how important dynamics are. If this club atmosphere was better, maybe we'd be getting even better results, even though they're doing really well. The cohesion's fantastic, look. But whatever it is, something is just holding us at this point. It could just be as simple as player quality, or it's the tactic. I know loads of you were commenting things like, whilst usually in a save you'd buy players to suit your tactic, in a save like this, you have to kind of change your tactic to suit the players that you've got, because you are restricted to the players that you've got. And I feel like we have done that. That's why we've gone to the 4-2-3-1. I am still really contemplating doing this 2-striker system, because maybe getting the most out of Spinelli is the way to do that. But he is solid for us. He's got, well, this season especially, 6 goals, 9 assists. He got 17 assists last year. So he is contributing. He is making the team better. It's just whether we're getting the very most out of him. And I know that I keep saying this, but I've tried to tweak it. I never quite came across the system that felt like it worked for everybody. You can see, by the way, the players that I've got in this squad. There's a lot of young players in there. Martucci's played 12. Martucci, let me just pop him up here so you can actually see. Martucci's played 12 games. He's very much rotating with D'Angelo in this number 10 spot. So we're trying to get him game time to develop him. It feels a bit slow progress. If I compare Bruno to Martucci when you think about development and how quickly these attributes are improving, Bruno is on another level. He's just getting better a lot quicker. Now, that doesn't mean that Martucci might not get there eventually, but we kind of need him to get there now to actually improve the team. And right now, D'Angelo is probably a better attacking midfielder for us. So that's kind of where we're at with that one. Another 10 goals from Pasqualini. Campani's still scoring 17 and 25. Not quite as prolific as last year. Started a little bit slower. Has got 6 and 6 in the Champions League. Has got 11 and 18 in the league. Champions League, I know you're asking about. We are doing all right. We're doing okay. 10th after 6 games. 3 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. We lost to Stuttgart and Benfica. We've actually had quite easy games. We beat Real Madrid. Let me show you that Real Madrid win, because that might be our finest ever moment. It's league phase, so maybe not. Maybe one of those Europa League knockouts is slightly better. But the 4-2-3-1 here, look, we were 1-0 down. Rollo, Spinelli. I'll show you the Spinelli goal just so we can check in a little bit. Spinelli with the goal that puts us in front on the 49th minute. Then we went down to 10, and then Pasqualini scored the winner late on. Here's that goal. Look, Pasqualini back to Spinelli. Right foot, curls it in. Cutting in from that left-hand side. Maybe we need to do more of that with him. I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of happy with the status quo. I'm happy with where we're at. That if we get Champions League every year, I know we're a little bit behind that now. If we get Champions League every year, there will be a point where this team has really good players in every position. And then maybe it's the time to do the meta football manager thing of going really attacking, really gegenpressy, and trying to hunt down Juventus. That kind of, in my mind, that's kind of what I'm planning for right now. But now we kind of don't need to do it because I'm just trying to develop these players and integrate these players. Bruno to improve him to his maximum potential. Longo, by the way, is a really decent midfielder who we've got as an option too. Not sure if I've shown you this guy before. He came through, I think it was at the same time as, was it Orfei and this intake here? Or it might have been one before that one. I don't really think I mentioned him all that much, but he's really quite good. He's a really good He's played quite a few games for us off the bench in that midfield, and Paolo Torti is also a really good option too. But you know these players now. They're the same players every single year. We're just hoping for more improvements, hoping for players to come through and look good through here. Our youth intake, and once again, we've got an excellent intake. It's actually not a golden generation this year, and there's only one A-rated player. One of our defensive midfielders has the potential to go far. Defensive midfield isn't really where we need players. We're so sorted there. Like, we've got good, if we play this system, we've got 2 good ones. If we play with the 3, I mean, Bruno could go in there, or Torti could go in there. We're kind of sorted, but if he's amazing, that would also help a little bit, wouldn't it? But let's go now to April and find out actually how good they are and see if we can get ourselves back into those Champions League spots. All right, so we have managed to recover ourselves back to the Champions League places. It's only a 2-point gap to Fiorentina, but we are actually 1 point off third as well, so we might even go slightly better here. Campani has improved on his goal scoring. He's now 2nd top goal scorer in the league, and I'm feeling pretty good about things. I'll show you the Champions League run in a second as well. The reason that I'm feeling pretty good is that we are just off the back of a 5-0 victory where I tweaked our tactic a little bit. I've made a bit of a change. This is the way that we line up now in a 4-2-3-1, but I'm going to drop a mid. I was looking at the amount of goals we were conceding, and it was quite a lot. So I've dropped Bruno back a little bit further. I think it might get the best out of Zilli. We're going to play this weird, almost asymmetrical 4-2-3-1. I mean, it's a really small change, but it looks like this, and it seemed to work really well. We won 5-0 with it in that game before. It looks like this. Bruno dropping a bit deeper. He's not a great defender, but he is a really good player on the ball. His positioning and everything like that is really good. It's just his actual tackling that's not. But he's also a unit. He's listed as a wonder kid now, by the way. I don't think that was the case before, was it? But he's super good. And I think he might be a real key player for us. This midfield 2 could be our midfield 2 for pretty much forever now. And then we've got D'Angelo in front. And you would have just seen that in that last game, I did play Martucci as the number 10. He's played 20 games this year. It's still it doesn't look like he's getting much better. Has he had anything? Again, I've been playing it, so maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe you guys can see the improvement a bit more than I can, but I'm not really seeing. There's a little bit. His corners have gone up 2. His penalty taking have gone up 2, and his determination has gone up by 1. It's now 6. I swear it was 6 before. So it says it's gone up by 1, but maybe I know it's like it's decimals, isn't it? So it counts as 1 if it's gone up by 0.9 or something. So maybe this is like, maybe it's 6.4 now and it's about to go to, you know what I mean. Anticipation's also improved, but that's it. And he's played a lot of games now. I don't know if we should be writing him off. This is why I'm not. It's because he's still listed as a hot prospect that I'm not, but maybe I should be. By the way, youth facilities, we did improve them. We did that back in the summer, actually, and I forgot to show you. We're looking really good. Now that we are a continental team, they did offer us the chance to improve that. So we've managed to do that as well. The other thing is that if I go to affiliates here, we have got a new one. It's Cracovia of Poland, who just kind of were the best option of the list on this particular go. They've got okay facilities, not great recruitment, which is a shame, but I thought a Polish link might be quite good. To get some young Polish players coming through could be quite nice. Also does mean we can send players on loan to them. So I am thinking still about loans. The one transfer that I did do this year was we did sell Raffaele. He was so important for us back in the early parts of this save. We actually got a transfer fee for him, 145k to Padova. And he's scoring goals for them, so I'm happy for him. That was the one transfer thing that I don't think I showed you in the summer as well. Right now, though, with us doing quite well, with our new tactic on the go, let's find out what these players are like through our youth intake. Okay, it's supposed to only be one good player, that defensive midfielder, and it looks like that is the case. We've got Eduardo De Bertoli, which it still says it's a golden generation. Maybe there are a few other good players here. Osmani, De Mayo. De Mayo plays centre-back and striker. Now I am intrigued. Franco De Mayo. Oh, hang on a minute. I will come back to him, but really quickly, we do have a Norwegian lad. Now that must be to do, or maybe it's not, because we've also got an Albanian, a Romanian, and a Croatian. That sounds like the start of a ridiculous joke, but I was going to say maybe we've got Molland. Eric Molland has come through because of our affiliate club of Stabike, I think it is. Maybe not though, but he has come through. We also have this guy. He's a natural centre-back, no-nonsense centre-back. He can also play striker, and he's got 14 finishing. Colour me intrigued. Doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to be amazing, but the fact he can play both those positions is intriguing to me. We'll keep an eye. Quickly, before we have a look at the main man, Eduardo here, this man here, Fabian Osmani, looks like he's got good potential too. He's another centre-back, left-footed. Really good aggression on Osmani, actually. Good marking, tackling, heading. Physicals could improve, but they will improve. Decisions are good. Bravery is good. He is promising. I think that's decent, really good determination look. Fairly determined personality. Left-footed. He could be an option. Maybe in a few years, and we need defenders, don't we? But Di Bertoli then, how good is he? He's a 6'4" midfielder, mercenary personality, which we know isn't that bad. He's got very good technique, good decisions, very brave. I do not mind what we are seeing there. He looks like he could be an option for us. We'll get these signed up. I'll do a bit of a squad audit at the end of the season. And right now, we've got an end of the season to go and attack, where we're going to try and qualify for the Champions League again. And I need to tell you how we've done in this year's Champions League. I said we're out. We lost to Inter in the Champions League. It's a bit annoying that we went out to an Italian team as well, isn't it? But we know that Inter are good. We drew 2-2 away from home. We'd already lost to them at home. This Mark Guilly, the Chelsea striker, he's turned out brilliant in this save. Look at his value. He's really, really good, and he scores a lot of goals for them. A 2-2 draw away from home, after being 2-0 up, taking them to extra time, is really disappointing. But their team's a lot better than ours. That's kind of all you can really say about it, isn't it? We didn't actually play that well. It's annoying because we were 2-0 up. It was an own goal by Mark Guilly. Then he scores what is, in the end, the winner. Get the 2-2 draw there. First leg, we lost them 1-0. Mark Guilly scored that goal as well. And that was at home. So maybe we should have done better. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Look at this, by the way. Recent form. Campani with 2 goals. 2 goals, 1 goal. Hat-trick in the past 5 games. We might be cooking something. I'm hoping we can finish in the top 4. We should do, really, from here. Another top 4 finish. Champions League again. Keep developing those youngsters. We go again next year. Let's go finish the season. Okay, end of the season. It's our best ever finish. We finished third. Now, I was kind of hoping at this stage to be able to do this. We're nowhere near the title race, but there is a new champion, Inter Milan, who knocked us out of the Champions League. This is the year, of course, that they become good. They've beaten Juventus to the title for the first time in 5 seasons or 6 seasons. Juventus are not going to be the champions. So maybe is there an opportunity knocking, or is it just the fact that Inter are really, really good now? It could be that, couldn't it? We have just finished the season, though. I think we've actually got a... Is this a playoff look? We've got another playoff for relegation between Venezia and Spezia, which we had earlier in the save, and you guys, lots of you explained what that actually was all about. They are going to be playing the relegation playoff again, which is quite fun. Campani gets himself top goal scorer again. I think that's 3 seasons in a row for him for that. It was his lowest goal scoring season compared to other years, but he did get 35 and 47 all competitions. He is a beast. We love him. Keep it up, my friend, and we will be going far. I've continued with this 4-2-3-1 with D'Angelo as the number 10, but also Martucci playing lots of games. He's currently injured, which is another shame. There's a bit of improvement. That has gone up. Determination has gone up. It's up to 7. He's still unambitious. That, I think, is the one improvement. I think this is now just maybe the decimals on it has ticked over to make it a 7. Okay, maybe he's going to get better now. Maybe that's going to make all the difference. It probably won't. I kind of am sort of writing him off a little bit, but maybe I shouldn't do. Another thing to mention, by the way, now this is incredible. If I go to Ennio Bruno, and if I go to his milestones, on the 31st of March, he was named as the winner of the next gen. We have got the best young player in Europe playing for us. And what I also realised, and I think I must have missed this, Agnello Campani won it back in 2031. Our youth intakes are definitely doing the business here. And Bruno, I feel so vindicated in my choice to just stick with him, looking for those clues that were telling me that he was really good. And once you started playing him, he has just exploded into a sensational footballer who I think we might be getting more out of now that we're playing him a little bit deeper. Even though it's a defensive midfielder on support, the only real thing he's lacking from this is tackling. And I just see the way that he's behaving in the game, it feels like he's playing better. This year, 7.18 average rating. He's scoring more goals despite playing deeper. 16 goals. That genuinely, that might be the reason that we are now up to finishing 3rd in the league. If you look through the squad, I think keeper centre-backs are a bit meh. Like Rollo's okay, but he's a bit meh and he's probably a defensive midfielder really. Right back is a bit weak. Left back is fine. Teresi's not very good. Midfield 2, great. Winger, Spinelli's fantastic. It's not really a winger though. Left winger doesn't look good in terms of his profile, but he delivers the goods. He's a Keane Lewis Potter from a previous series. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Martucci, Martucci's young and we're trying to develop him, but D'Angelo, solid. Striker, amazing. I feel like we're stronger in lots of different positions now, and you kind of see the fruits of that by where we're finishing in the league. 75 points. We only lost 7 games. We only lost to Juventus once as well, which to me is a win. We actually beat them in the league, look, 2-1, 2 goals from Campani. I actually just remembered. I said that we've only lost to them once this year. We actually played them in the Supercoppa Italiana semi-final and lost 2-0. We then played them in the Champions League phase, lost to them 2-0. And then we played them in the Coppa Italia quarterfinal and lost to them 5-0. So actually, we could not get away from them at all. We lost them 4 times over the course of the season, even though only one of them was in the league. They are ridiculous, but they didn't win the league this year, did they? Now, though, we're a Champions League team again. We've got some good players that have come through. I've been trying to give a little bit of game time to some of the youngsters too. Bracaglia's come off the bench, look, 12 times here. He's developing as a backup centre-back. There's a few other ones that I'm trying to nurture into players in our team too. But I'm feeling more confident than ever. I think we might be able to do it next season. I'm going to put my neck... I'm going to say we're going to be in a... I'm going to say we're going to go for the title next year. Let's go and get ready. Let's go and get ready for that. Okay, for season number 12, this monstrosity that you see on your screen right now is either going to be genius or disastrous. I've either had a breakdown or I'm about to win the league with this team. That's genuinely how I actually feel about this. This is the brain explosion that I've managed to put together for this season. It's what I've been talking about for ages. You will just notice that it is pretty much just what we used before, which is this 4-2-3-1 asymmetrical thing. But I'm going to make Spinelli a striker in it. And we're going to just not have a right winger. I'm going to trust that Donjia is just going to get up and down and support over there. Then maybe, hopefully, the way that positional play is supposed to work on FM24 is that players will then fill in the gaps and move around one another. And I'm hoping that D'Angelo will then just maybe move wide a little bit as Campani makes the space here. We're going to see it. I'm going to show you the game that I've played with it, which is why that I'm showing it to you. Because if we'd lost the game that I've just played with this, we'd probably be lining up like this right now, to be honest. But no, it did go pretty well. And I think it might just be the most that a system, a tactic, has suited the players that we've got since we've started this save. Because I'm really happy with our front 6 players. And this might just get the most. I'm just hoping that Spinelli scores some goals. In that last game, he did score. Campani did score. Bruno from defensive midfield. Let me just make sure his name comes back up. Bruno got 2 goals in this game. I'll show you it. I'll show you the goals. We beat Napoli 5-2 at home. Now, Napoli aren't that good. Let's be completely honest here. This is the lineup that we started with. Campani, Spinelli. I did play Martucci, the youngster. I'm still trying to develop him, even though I think it's a hopeless case, but I'm still going to try. We played him in the 10, but we won the game 5-2. Watch the goals, because I'm kind of hoping that you'll be able to see what I'm talking about with that right-hand side. Spinelli scoring. This is down the right, look. In fact, let's just pause it there. That was very Jamie Carragher there. Let's just pause it. And this is what I mean, that Don just got forward. Bruno's there supporting, even though he's a defensive midfielder. Spinelli starting wider, comes into the space here, picks it up, and then we've still got the players in the middle. That's D'Angelo. No, it's Martucci, sorry, who started instead of D'Angelo. Campani in the middle. Eventually, the ball comes in, look. Back post header, Pasqualini. That's the first goal. Straight away, we scored again. It was a penalty, which doesn't really help us to look tactically at this, but still. Third goal, which was already, look, after 12 minutes, down the right-hand side again. I don't know if just negating having a right winger provides more space for Donjia to get forward, and he's definitely better going forward than he is defensively. He gets down the right, crosses it in. Spinelli, playing as a striker now, finishes it off, look, smashes it in at that near post. It kind of worked. Bruno got the header from the set piece. Another thing, by the way, we've now got 2 really big lads. We've got Bruno, who's 6'4", and Campani, who's 6'5". And my theory about having more than one massive lad really making it more viable to score from set pieces seems to be working out. He scored 2 headers in this game. A 5-2 win. Can you tell how excited I am? I think we're going to win the league. I think we're going to win the league this year. We are predicted to finish 8th. That is a huge signal to me that this squad actually has genuine quality these days. The players that we've got in our squad are actually pretty good. And the only thing that I'm kind of thinking now is that we are a little bit lacking in terms of depth. That's the only real thing. I'd love 1 or 2 more young players to come through to provide a little bit more depth. And then I think we're there. Like, we could do it this year if we get lucky with injuries. If we get injuries and maybe Matasera gets injured, then we might struggle. Or at the back, Rollo, Teresi, Matasera, or Evans. If any of those get injured, we might really struggle. And then I suppose actually any of the attackers, the drop off to in quality is quite a big one still at this stage. Midfield, we might be okay. We've got Martucci and Torti. We've actually also got this guy here. Marco Barilli has become our new hot prospect. So I think it is 18 is like the cutoff point, because Martucci is no longer the hot prospect. He's now 18 years old. And Barilli is that new guy who's a defensive, well, he's a midfielder, defensive one because he's a ball winner. I do wonder, maybe he could he become a centre-back if we really need him to? We've got a lot of midfielders. Although, is he actually just a decent... I've got him in the first team squad. Is he just a decent option if Bruno gets injured? Bruno, then Torti, but Torti could play in any of those midfield. Like, he can play as the 6, the 8, or the 10, look, can't he? I don't know. I'm looking forward to this, though. With the new tactic, I'm going to go and play this first half of this season, and I reckon the title's coming home. Come on. Okay, it might not be coming home. We're 4th. Juventus are they're too good. They're too blooming good. I might be throwing my toys out the pram a little bit here, but I really did believe we're a really good team now. We've got 35 points after 18 games. It's fine. We've lost 3 games. We lost to Juventus, got smashed by them 4-1 because that's just what happens. We lost to Lazio. We lost to Palermo. Fine. They've only lost 2 games. And that one was to Inter, who won the league last year. They lost 4-0 to them, actually. They've drawn 1 look to Lazio. Lazio are much better than they used to be. They're back up to 10th. They were rubbish for a while. but we're already 11 points behind Juventus, and it's only the halfway point. So to me, it feels like the league's gone again for this year, and it's another season of maybe just trying to make sure that we finish in the top 4, and hopefully, once again, praying that we get good players come through our intake. What I am crying out for is defenders. Genuine defenders, and maybe a left winger. Pasqualini might be sort of struggling a bit. We've seen a real regression in him. I'm not really sure why, but even his performances haven't seemed to be as good in this new system. He seems to be creating lots of goals. He's got 7 goals actually, so maybe it's not as bad, but only, there you go. He's only got 2 goals in the league. Has got 10 assists, so maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but maybe a new left winger who looks attributes wise looks really good, could be quite nice. But do you know what, maybe I'm being harsh on Pasqualini there. I think what I really want is defenders. I think genuine actual defenders. Matosera can come back in. He's been injured a little bit this year as well, and then that's when we can challenge for this title. Spinelli, by the way, as this poacher, as the dual strikers now, he's got 16 and 19, so it is working. Like, we are getting more out of one of our better players in Paolo Spinelli. And Campani still scores the goals. He's got 19 and 23. So we're not far away, but we are just tantalizingly too far away. Martucci, by the way, still not really developing. Still not making lots of progress, and is still very much unambitious, although his value's still really high. And Bruno, strength to strength, he's actually grown. He's 6'5" now. I actually didn't think this happened as often as I've seen it in this save. The players seem to be growing, or even with Campani shrinking, way more than I thought they would. So, which I find quite interesting. It's a good thing. He's now 6'5", which is great. He's got 20 jumping reach in our midfield. So he is such an asset to have in our team. The next gen winner from, was it last year or the year before? Anyway, he's really, really good. I'm happy with the squad, but frustrated that we haven't made the leap that I thought the tactic might be able to help us make. Although I think we are better, and we're winning games. Look, we won the last game 5-2. Won the game before that 4-3. We're scoring lots. We beat Fenerbahce 9-1. In the Champions League phase. We're doing okay in the league phase, by the way. We've got 9 points from 6. 3 wins, 3 losses. We did have Chelsea and United in that. We lost 5-0 to Manchester United. We also lost to Nantes, which is a bit annoying, but we move. It is what it is. We should, as long as we qualify, that's fine. We are unbeaten in December. We, of course, do have, and I, of course, do have some updates in terms of a youth intake preview, but also we have a new affiliate club. It is Como in Serie B. Now, this is a different type of affiliate. This one is an affiliate that I brought in to be able to loan players. I wanted a team that were quite good, and Como have been in the Serie A in this save, haven't they? And I wanted to be able to send players to them because I think we have got the squad to a point now where I might actually loan people out. So I've done that with a couple. Andrea Longo has gone there. Hasn't played as much as I wanted him to, but I suppose that is 18 appearances in total. I also did send Kasani, but he hasn't played any games there. I also did loan out a couple of other players who are the ones on the screen here. So we've loaned out Fricano, the young goalkeeper, hoping that he's playing. He's not. This is the problem. You want to loan them out, but actually now they're playing less football. I could recall them now it's January. I might do that if they're not playing, actually. Loan Petrarca. Bazzano has good potential. I'm hoping he's playing. Yeah, he's playing football at Pontedera. He was our backup attacking midfielder before D'Angelo came back. So I'm hoping he develops. Bracaglia, the centre-back, sent him out on loan. I have asked them to play him as a centre-back, so I need to check in. Is that where they're playing him? Well, they're not really playing him at all. When he did play, was that for us? That might have been for us. No, this is all for us. I did ask them to play him as a centre-back, so let's check if that is the case. If I go to Trento, they're playing him in midfield. Excellent. Oh, well, I suppose it still helps with his attributes. It's just not in the correct position, is it? Moschetti is on loan at Monza, has played a couple of games. And then Kasani and Orfe, the last one, I sent to Sochaux. We also have the chance to send them to Sochaux as part of them being our affiliate as well. He's played a fair few games, actually. Scored 5 goals. So hopefully he comes back an even better player. Maybe we did actually... Oh, he's injured. I was going to say, we've had a few injuries. Oh, my word. He's out for 3 months with a torn back muscle. Well, he might as well come back then. So I suppose we've probably got better physios and medical staff than Sochaux, haven't we? Right, I'll deal with that. Let's have a quick look at the youth candidate intake preview. Excellent intake. Golden generation again. Get in. This time it does look pretty good, though. We have at least one fullback with plenty of promise. A centre-back. This is what we want. This is exactly what we want. I said I just want defenders. Fullback could be great. I kind of hope it's a right back because we've got Matosera. Although a left back would be good too because we've got only him to play left back. Oh, by the way, we've had to bring in a new head of youth development. Galli, who's been such a brilliant servant for us, retired. So we brought in Massimo Margiotta, who has got great attributes, is less reputation, and is only determined personality. There are no good heads of youth development in this save. I just couldn't find one. This guy was the best that there was. I even did an advert and got people to apply for it. And I had people like really random people like Hyung-Min Son is a head of youth development now. And he applied for the job, but he is rubbish at it. Reputation's a bit higher, so maybe that would have helped. But Hyung-Min Son, and there was a couple of other old like ex-players that wanted to be our head of youth development. I've gone with Margiotta. He does have knowledge of Italy. Because he was the Hellas Verona head of youth development before this, and then he's been in Italy for his whole career, basically. Look, so he is Venezuelan. Maybe we'll get some Venezuelan intake players. That could be fun, couldn't it? But probably not. Let's see if for the first time under his stewardship we bring in the best youth intake that we've had so far. That could be quite cool, but we'll see, won't we? It's a lottery. We've also got one striker who's a fine prospect. There's not loads to report on the pitch, so I'm going to go and play this through now. Get us to April. See this intake. I suppose hopefully we're just comfortably in this top 4 still and maybe gone through in the Champions League. That could be nice. We've got some tough games, actually. We've got Paris Saint-Germain and Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. We kind of need to win at least one of them, I'd probably say. Anyway, I'll be back in April to let you know how that's gone, I suppose. All right, so it is basically how I was expecting it to be now that we are into... Well, we're actually not quite into April yet. It's the 25th of March, but I've come back because we've actually got our youth intake at this stage. We're comfortably 12 points clear of 5th. We're going to be in the Champions League again next year. Campani has scored 30 goals in 30 games, by the way. He's doing everything he can do to get us to win this title. We're just not quite there yet. He's an elite striker. He's definitely our best graduate, isn't he? Just purely in terms of what he's managing to achieve. 28 games, look. 27 starts, 30 goals. It's his best season yet. Maybe unlocked slightly because he's got a strike partner up there now. We've been continuing with this system. Spinelli is there. Spinelli's got 27 and 37. We are really good. We've actually been better since the turn of the year as well. We've had, I mean, look at this. Last 4 games, we scored 5 in 3 of them. And we've won all 5 of our last games. We beat Inter 5-0. I'll show you this game because this one really sums it up. We beat Inter 5-0. Campani, Spinelli, Martucci still in the midfield. He's actually gone up, look. He's got 8 determination. He's now, oh, I hadn't even noticed that. His personality is now fairly sporting. So one of the things, he is managing to improve his determination. He still looks slightly off it. But I have been playing him quite a lot this year because, again, the value's really high. He's only 18, and I think his potential is higher than D'Angelo's current ability is, if that makes sense. So if we can improve him and get him past that point, then he might actually help us to win a title, even if he's a slow improver. He is actually, I feel like maybe we might actually see some improvements now. If we go to progress, attributes. Yeah, okay. He is growing. His determination's gone up by 3. I didn't even know that was possible. 3 composure, 2 anticipation, 2 first touch. Okay, we are getting there. It's just a bit slower than usual. It's good. That's a good thing that actually counts. I don't know how much he's going to make a difference in this save because I'm sort of hoping that we can win the league in the next couple of seasons. Is he going to be good enough to impact it before then? We'll see. We'll see, but that is a good thing, actually. We won this game 5-0, though, going back to it. Pasqualini, Torti, Bruno. There was no Zilli in this game. Zilli was injured, I think it was. Yeah. No, he came off the bench and maybe he was just tired. Raimondi had to start a right back as well, but you know what? Let's watch the goals. It was 2 penalties from Campani. So the first one is literally just a penalty, as you can see. Smashes it home. He's good at penalties. He scores a lot of them. He scored 2 in this game. Evans bringing it forward. Torti, good ball. Pasqualini smashes it in left-footed. Another goal for him. Really underrated player. I appreciate Pasqualini, you know. Martucci set up this goal, got an assist. Spinelli, look, in the box. Again, coming down the right-hand side. This one came down the left, but another goal from that right-hand side without the winger there. Torti scored that goal as well. That's 5-0, and then finally a penalty at the end. Dispatched comfortably, confidently by Campani. We're in good form. If that form continues, we might be able to steal second. But I don't think we're going to catch up with Juventus, who are 13 points clear. We've only got 8 games to go, of course. 30 goals from Campani. What a man. Let's have a look at that intake, because this could actually be... Well, actually, I've just seen on here as well. We've got a couple of one-to-watches there, which is good. This could be the game change. This could be the final thing that we need to be able to go for the title. Maybe. Probably not, but let's see. Youth intake. It is a golden generation. I'm getting my hopes up a little bit here. That is because the two elite talents are both defenders. Thomas Campidelli and Pasquale Palmer, which is a fantastic name for an Italian centre-back. There's also two top talents, Dario Roma and Pasquale Albanese, a striker and a left winger. Didn't I ask for a left winger and a right? I asked for a right back, a left winger, and then we've also got a bonus centre-back in there. Please be good. Please be good. Let's start. Let's start at the top. Thomas Campidelli looks good. We've got a right back that can cross. He's got really good physicals. Personality is okay. Determination's really good. I'm like looking, what's the catch here? He can tackle. Good work rate and teamwork. He's only 16. He's 16 rather than 15, so maybe you expect him to be a little bit further along. Am I getting carried away because am I willing it into existence, or is this guy actually really good? His cons are consistency, and then that's sort of it. He's Serie B level already. That tells me we can bring him into the squad. We can get him to be the backup, maybe for Dongia straight away. Maybe play him. Let me see what he wants in terms of wages. If this is high, I've got super high hopes for this guy. That's a good start. He wants to be in... This guy's good. This guy's going to be good. 5k. Do you remember when we brought through Martucci and he wanted £220 on a youth contract because he was only 15? And then when he signed his new contract, I think it was 2.6k. Now, this doesn't mean he's definitely, it might just be a reputation thing because we've now got a higher rep, but that seems really high to me. What I usually do at this stage is do an optional extension to make sure we lock them down and then see what they want in terms of wages. He wants 7k to do that. I'm signing him. Oh, please actually be good. If he's actually good when he signs, if he's got a high value and our coaches like the look of him, I might even play him because we're going to finish in the top 4 anyway. And he's probably got a higher ceiling than Dongia, right? I might even play him now for the rest of this season. I'll see. Pasquale Palmer, centre-back. 6'4", love that. Physicals are a bit low. These mentals are insane, though. He's got great bravery. Determination is awesome. He's got really good teamwork. Technique's amazing. That's like Bastoni technique, isn't it? Can't head the ball. Tackling's okay. That will improve. Passing's really good. He's like a ball-playing defender. Natural ball-playing defender. We probably have him on defend. He needs to develop a little bit to be able to play. But another one that I think this could be all of our hopes and dreams being answered right now. Again, that's promising. What does he want? See, he wants way less. So what's the difference there? Is that people who have done these saves before, is that a potential thing or is it a reputation thing or is it a mixture of both? It's definitely an indicator. He wants less than £1,000 per week, whereas that right back, Campidelli or whatever his name was, wanted 5k a week. I'm gonna see if we can get this one locked down. Let's see what he wants when we add that in. 1.3k. That's a lot cheaper, which maybe tells me his reputation isn't as high, or maybe it's just his current ability isn't as high. Maybe it's current ability. Because actually, what do our scouts say where he'd be playing? So he's Serie B standard as well, so maybe it isn't that different. I don't know. I'm asking you guys. Let me know. We've got Albanese, who is a striker. Wow. He's got 16 finishing. Again, inconsistent. These physicals don't look like they're up to much, but these are 10s. If these become 11s, 12s, you'd be like, this is a really good player. Composure's a bit low. Anticipation's low. Passing and technique. Technique, you want to be a bit higher, really, naturally, but that can improve. Albanese, I don't think we need the strike. The reason I'm less excited about him is because we've got Campani, we've got Spinelli, whereas in defence, at right back, I'm like, Dongia's okay, and our centre-backs are very average. If any of them become through and amazing, in 5 years, even less than that, in 3 years, we're going to have a complete team. And it will mean that, imagine Dongia being able to be our backup right back. We'd be a really good side at that point. He wants 3.2k. Okay, so I kind of wrote him off a little bit there, but he actually wants more money. Maybe it is random. Maybe it's just how, I don't know, maybe it's a, what hidden attribute could that be that dictates like how greedy a player is? Maybe it's just how greedy they are. It's how much money they want. Maybe it's that. 4.5k, we'll get him signed. And then finally, or at least in this top list here, these guys might be good. I'm not, by the way, I know that you guys will always say it. They might actually be good. We've got another Norwegian, by the way. That could be because of our intake. We don't have any, no Uruguayans, no. What were the other teams that we've got? No Frenchmen either. That's a shame. They haven't, these affiliates haven't really done much, I don't think, unless it's the Norwegians, which we've had a few come through. So maybe that does kind of work. Let's have a look at Dario Roma. Left winger, Pasqualini competitor, maybe. He's got good pace and acceleration. Left-footed, like Pasqualini. He's not good technique. That's one of the things I wanted on Albanese, wasn't it? Good determination too. Okay personality. Maybe. Let's see what he wants in terms of a wage. See, he's back down at 900. I don't know. I don't know enough about what that actually indicates, but I feel like it is significant. We'll get those signed. Once Campidelli is signed, if he's got a high value, I might stick him in the team. In fact, let's continue a couple of days now and get him signed so I can show you that as well. Campani's got himself a goal bonus as well. What was this? We've recorded a top half finish. That is good news, isn't it? Let's see, because we haven't got a game for a while here. Let's get them signed, and I want to see what his value is. And if it's good, I'm sticking him in the team. Oh, we're going to get some extra money from Raffelli from selling him. That's fun, isn't it? Okay, Roma signed his contract. He's now homegrown, which is what you want to see. Palmer signed his contract. What's his value? That's pretty good. He's still on a youth contract valued at up to 6.8 million. That's pretty good, no? That's a good sign. That's a good sign. I really want to see this Campidelli one. Is he in? Is he in? Is this it? He's in. Come on! He might be the answer to our right back dreams. I'm putting him in. He's going to go right back for us. Donja, I need to actually... You're out the team. You're out the team, Donja. That feels a bit harsh on him. But if we play him now, I know that as an under 18, you can just train them, etc. They will still develop by training. But I think they will also develop a lot if you play them. I think we've got an almost like the coast is clear to be able to play him for the rest of this season. I need to give him a face. When I come back, he'll have a face. Maybe the other guys as well, because they look pretty good. I'll, of course, get to the end of this season. Maybe do another squad audit from there. And we'll see where we stand and see maybe if they've developed a little bit from first team football for the next 8 or so games. This is exciting. This season was a bit disappointed that we didn't challenge. But next season... Oh, I'm feeling good. Okay, so here we are then at the end of that season. We have finished in the top 4, as you'd expect. We finished 3rd. Now it wasn't quite the situation I wanted it to be able to play Campidelli and a couple of those other youngsters in every game. And that's because we started quite poorly. As we went into April, look, we lost to Roma, lost to Juventus, of course, and then drew to Milan. It's a tough run of games. But I kind of felt like, can I show you on here? Felt like it was maybe a bit risky to bring Campidelli in for these games. So I went with Donja, as you can see. Then after that, when we had a nice run against, by the way, Spinelli scored 4 goals in this game, which is pretty good as we won 4-2. The final 4 games of the season, I did bring Campidelli in. And I also started Pasquale Palmer in these games as well. It was a 3-1 win away at Salernitana. I'll show you the goals in this one. Why not? We'll show you the goals. It's a Spinelli hat-trick. I just want to check, actually. The reason I want to show you the goals is what kit are we wearing? I want to show you the away kit or the 3rd kit. We're wearing our white kit. Love it. I don't know why we're behind the goal here, but we are. It's fine. Spinelli header. We are just supposed to be behind the goal for some reason. Let's go with the TV for this one. Matasera crosses Spinelli, big header at the back post too. It was a 3-1 win. I think we were 3-0 up in it as well. Zilli through to Spinelli. He's looking good from that right-hand side. Anyway, that was the game that we brought Campidelli in and then played him in the last 4 games. So he's played 4 games for us. He's actually got a 7.08 average rating. This is the man that I'm pinning our defensive hopes on. I think we may have got a good one here. He does lack consistency, which is a bit worrying. But other than that, he's shown that he can mix it in the first team. He's played well in the first team already. If he's the type that develops really quickly, like Bruno was, we might have a really good player for us in our defence next year. Maybe a little bit behind him is Pasquale Palmer. He didn't do quite as well, and I feel like he's going to take a little bit more nurturing, but he still looks like a really good prospect for us at left-sided centre-back. Then the final one that I've put into the first team already is Dario Roma as our new left winger. He looks like he is developing quite nicely. He's got decent value too. We needed a player to compete with Pasqualini. He hasn't played yet, but next season he'll definitely make his debut. He's got like 5 balance. He can barely stand up straight. He's got 2 strength. He needs to maybe get in the gym a little bit. But maybe when he does, we could use him a little bit next year. I'm feeling very positive about next year. I know that I felt like this last year, but this squad is coming together. We're plugging a few of the holes, etc., aren't we? By the way, in the Champions League, we went out in the knockout playoff round, which is a bit disappointing. We got Manchester United, though. Remember, we got smashed by them in the Champions League. Was it even this year? I think we played them in the league phase this year, didn't we? We lost them 5-0, and then we got them in the knockout playoff round. We lost 3-2. We drew 2-2 at home and then lost 1-0 at Old Trafford. So it's not ideal, but it sort of is what it is. It was Alberto Malero who scored the winner for them. So it's fine. I think we're quite far away from winning the Champions League. But next year, in the league, this squad, with this tactic, I reckon we've got a chance. So let's go and give it a shot. Okay, then, here goes nothing. This is season number 13, and it's either we win it this year or this series goes into a part 4. That's the way that I'm going to do this. This is our 5th season of today's video. It's going to be a long one, but I'm hoping we can make it all worth it this year. We're going to go with our new system, this 4-2-3. What even is it? A 4-2-2. It's 4-2-2-2, but sort of weird. I'm not even sure how you'd properly describe it, but it worked quite well last year. We also then have in our lock, if we want to go a bit more defensive, maybe against bigger teams, we could go back to the 4-3-3. But I think for now, we're going to go with this one. This is our 11. This is our squad. I'm going to pop in Thomas Campidelli because I think he genuinely will be special if we play him free kick takings on the way down, but everything else looks pretty good. I'm going to play him in games, especially games like the one coming up against Bologna at home. If it's a home game and we're favourites to win, I'm giving game time to our younger players. That's the way that I'm going to play this. Players like Pasquale Palmer and Dario Roma are going to be bench players. They're going to come in and help. I'm going to go with... I'm not giving up on Martucci, but I think I'm going to go with D'Angelo in midfield. This is the year to go for it, in my eyes. Either because this is the last season of the video, or it could even be the last season of the save. I'm always sad saying that, although it's unlikely it's going to happen. If we have a look at the season preview... Even though we've made this much progress, we're still predicted to finish 7th. But we have had some significant upgrades too. We are now a worldwide reputation team. Look at those stars. Think about where we've come from to get our club into the rude health that it's currently in. There's a new stadium. The reputation's almost maxed. Training facilities and youth recruitment are maxed. Youth facilities, 4.5 stars. If I go to facilities as well, it looks great, doesn't it? It looks fantastic. We've got a 20-year stadium sponsorship at 20 million per season. The finances, I've not shown you this in ages, but we've got 100 million in the bank here. They keep giving us 25 million to go and spend. They keep getting upset that I don't spend it. Very disappointed, in fact. Even if I move it into away from the transfer budget into the wage budget, they're still upset that I don't spend it. So I might as well not bother doing that. We're a fully established Champions League team with fantastic youngsters, amazing strikers, Spinelli, goal scorer, Campani, goal scorer, Bruno, midfield dominator. We're in a position to go and do something special. I genuinely believe that. The one thing that I would worry about is whether or not we can topple Juventus. Juventus are the best team in this league. But let me show you something. We just beat Juventus 3-1 on the opening day of the season. And I did what I kind of mentioned. I went back to the tried and trusted 4-3-3, the slightly more defensive and solid 4-3-3. And I went with the experienced players. I had to start Parisi because Campani was injured in this game. He wasn't fully fit to start, although he did make the bench here, look. We went back to the 4-3-3 and we got ourselves immediately, straight off the bat, first game of the season, a win against our biggest title rivals. Pasqualini with the first goal. I think it was a deflected cross that it ended up going in. Then we had a corner headed in by Bruno, our big guy. I don't know why we're behind the goal again. We love it. We love sitting in the stands with our fans. It's not even with our fans. I think it's with the Juventus fans there. And then after they got a goal back, their one goal in this here, we immediately struck back. Have a look at the timing. Keenan Yildiz scores this. Straight away, we go up the other end. Look, and we get ourselves back in front through Bruno's header at the near post. It is such a good weapon to have. That's something that I know I've mentioned it before, but I don't think I quite underlined just how game-changing this could be. Having a player with 20 jumping reach at 6'5" to get on the end of set pieces, when you also have, if he doesn't get on the end and their best defenders are marking him, you've also got Campani with 16 jumping reach at 6'5" as well. Like, we have got serious options to head in, and it makes up for the fact that our defenders are not tall. 5'10", Rullo. Teresi's 6'1", right? Yeah, he's a little bit taller. I think we're ready. I think After countless seasons of finishing 13th, I think we might be ready to go and challenge at the top. I'm actually now nervous about how things are going to go wrong. I'll see you in January, and I just hope things haven't gone wrong. Okay, things haven't gone wrong yet. It's very tight. We're top of the league. Whisper it quietly, but we are going pound for pound, toe to toe with Juventus. I'm not even sure that those sayings make sense, but after 18 games, our record is exactly the same. Our goal difference is slightly better. We're top of Serie A with 44 points so far. We have lost 2 games. We lost to Spezia recently as well. That is a really bad one. And we lost away at Inter, but that's okay. We drew to Empoli and we drew to Genoa. Genoa, we know, are quite a good team. They are actually 8th now. Juventus have only lost twice as well. They lost to us, of course, and they also lost to Lecce at home. So they do have a loss in them. I wish they would lose a few more. But so far, so good. The title race is on. And by the way, if this comes down to the last few games, you can bet your bottom dollar that we are doing live comms, and this video will be as long as it needs to be, because we are sharing this moment, because this save is all about this. It's all about this adventure for me. This is the team. You can see who's been playing and who's been playing well. 14 goals from Campani, just 8 goals from Spinelli, but we've been spreading out the goals a little bit more. Pasqualani's got 8. Martucci's got 8 goals. My idea was not to start him, however, but then I started him and he scored a couple of goals, and I just thought, okay, maybe you've won me back over. I do keep flip-flapping with him. So he's come in. He's actually scored 8 goals without playing that well. So D'Angelo's just been very much a backup. He's got 3 goals off the bench, but he's not very happy with not starting, but that's going to happen. We've also, though, 5 goals from Zillian, 6 goals from Bruno. We've scored a lot of goals, but we're not relying on Campani to get all of them. They are a bit tired, which I'm worried about. But these are our games that we've got coming up. We've got Milan a couple of times, once in the Supercoppa Italiana. Then we've got a couple of Champions League games to go as well. We're in a good position to go through in the Champions League. It'd be nice to sneak into this top 8 so that we avoid the playoff round. That'd be nice. But we've got City. Yeah, City are one of the games and Monaco are one of the games. Maybe beat Monaco and we've got a chance, potentially, but we'll see with that one. My focus, honestly, is purely on the league. We've got Juventus at home coming up very soon. Beat them and we might be able to establish a bit of a lead over them. Now, there is the small matter of a youth intake preview to talk about as well. We've got 3 players, a winger or 2 very handy wingers, 2 attacking midfielders and a new goalie. New goalie, if they're amazing, would be great. It is another golden generation. Every single year, I think, apart from like 2, we've had one of those. Attacking midfielder, 2 of them, maybe if they're better than Martucci. But at this stage, I think we've got the players we need. We just need to get the run of form and the luck. So far, we are kind of having that this season. I am so wary of going really close, though, and having to go again, and how I'm going to feel if we do have to go again. But that's what we're in it for, right? Isn't it? Let's go and play up until April. And then maybe even after April, we might be in a place where I need to play some of these games as live comms. I'm just hoping we're still in the title race. Let's go and find out what our youth intake looks like. And we'll go from there. Oh, it's tense. Right, so you're going to have to excuse me a little bit if I'm a little bit giddy right now, because as we head into April, I'm back when I said we were going to come back. It is neck and neck at the top of the league. We've lost our top spot. However, we are joint on points with Juventus. Now, what happened is that we played Juventus in the league, and I don't really want to show you this, but we lost 5-1. Now, we always lose to Juventus. This happens often. I said that this was going to be a big game. We've played so many games since the turn of the year, by the way. We're at the end of March, and look how many matches we play, because there's Coppa Italia games, there's Supercoppa Italiana games, there's Champions League knockout games, which we, again, there's a couple of results that I don't really want to talk about, but I guess we're going to have to. But this game here, now at this point, I was feeling pretty low because it just underlined really what type of team we're up against. This ridiculous team with this Doherty guy leading the line. Lee Doherty, born in Newbridge in Ireland, just leading this Juventus line, and he's so good. And yeah, they beat us 5-1 in this game. And we also had injuries. We had no Campani. Campani's really struggled with, it's not even injuries, it's just he needs a rest after every game. I don't know if we've just overplayed him over the years. I gave him 2 weeks holiday. I had to. It felt like if we're going to have him for the run-in, I had to just give him time off. So I gave him time off. Luckily, it did feel like it kind of worked, although he does need another rest now. He's actually, I think I've given him the next 8 days off to rest until we play Fiorentina in the next game. But as well as all of that sort of bad news because we've lost top spot, there is really good news in that we've kind of kept pace with Juventus. And there might be one or two things that go in our favour now from this point onwards. We are out of the Champions League. We did go through. We played Besiktas in the playoff round. We beat them. We drew 2-2 away, beat them 3-1 at home. Spinelli got another 2 goals. Spinelli, by the way, in Campani's very tired absence, Spinelli has been scoring all the goals. He's got 18 in the league, but he's got 26 in all competitions. So thank God he's actually willing to put the ball in the back of net. And actually, as a squad, as a team, we're scoring a lot of goals. We then got Barcelona in the round of 16. They beat us 4-0 at home. We lost 4-0 at home to Barcelona. And the worst thing about it was that they've got a player called Stephen Jones who is fully Spanish. He came through the Barcelona Youth Academy and he's just fully Spanish, born in Barcelona, but he's called Stephen Jones. And that, I don't know why, that distracted me so much that I almost forgot the fact that they smashed us. They beat us 4-0 here. Look, again, no Campani in this team, only fit enough for the bench. We have missed him, although I'm hoping we're going to be over the worst of it. And that for this run in now where we've got, is it 8 games? 8 games to go. Hopefully we can make the best of him. In the away leg, we went to the new camp. They beat us 6-1. We lost 10-1 on aggregate. Barcelona are better than us. We're not going to be winning this Champions League for a while, is probably what I would say. And if we win the Serie A this year, I don't care because that's what we've set out to do. We are in touching distance. We're just off the back of a 6-0 win against Lecce. We're still using this system. Orfe has had to come in and he's done okay. For a player that was nowhere near the first team, he's actually not a terrible footballer. I remember when he came through, we were impressed with his acceleration. He is actually decent. He's played 13 games and got 13 games in total, got 7 goals. It's 8 starts. So 7 goals and 8 starts. It's actually really good. So luckily he's been good. Maybe that loan at Sochaux made a big difference for him. He got a 10 out of 10 in this game. We're in contention, but we're not in the driver's seat, which I'm a bit worried about. We have the better goal difference as well, but head to head, they beat us 5-1. So head to head, even though we beat them at home because of the goal difference in the head to head games, they hold the top position at this moment. They do have a few tough games coming up. They've actually just lost their last game as well. They lost to Fiorentina and then they play in the few weeks, they play a home to Sassuolo, they're away at Salernitana, which is they should win both. They've got Champions League 2-legged tie against Liverpool. Then they play Inter away. Their run-in isn't terrible, though Genoa's tough. Genoa away is tough, and then they play at home to Udinese, away at Lecce, and home to Fiorentina. I mean, they did just lose to Fiorentina, so it might not be... We've got a chance. Our run-in is actually quite tough as well. We play Fiorentina away, who they've just lost to. Empoli, Napoli, Roma away is rough. They're 4th. We finished the season. Spezia should be a banker. Atalanta aren't very good. Palermo at home should be a banker. They're rubbish. Then we play Milan away in the last game of the season. I'm already thinking about this game. If we're in touch and distance, it'd be a great story if we could go to the San Siro and win. But I could easily see that being a bit of a heartbreaker. So I guess we'll see. The other thing that I need to bring you news of is we've had our youth intake and we have brought through what could be a super special player for us. Carmine Pacenti. The rest are a bit rubbish. And I've looked at all of these. There is no fun. They're all Italian except for one Serbian guy as well, which is a bit of a shame. But this guy, Carmine Pacenti, is pretty good, I reckon. I do need to offer him a contract. I'll get that sorted. But he is, except for physicals, possibly going to be outrageous. Actually, I'm going to check now. Let's do the wage test on him. He wants breakthrough prospect. He wants a youth contract. Okay, so that doesn't really help us. I think is that because he's still 15? No, he's 16. We'll get him signed either way. He could be special. I suppose we'll find out if he's special after we get him signed up, and we'll see what his value is. Maybe that'll be when we see by our coaches as well. But right now, that's not even in my thinking because this Serie A title is on the line. I'm going to go and play. I think I'll play the next 4 or 5 games, maybe 4 games, so that we do the month of May together. If we're in a title race, we'll do sort of live comms for these games, even if it is a case of we're going to play this game, this was the result, and then we'll do proper live comms. We'll see how it goes, basically. I want to make sure I include you. If we've got a title race on, I'm going to make sure that I include you in the process. So I'll see you after Roma, which feels like a tough game. Okay, we've beaten Roma away from home. This is a huge, huge win. I don't know if I can quite underline why this is. I can't really explain to you how important this is. But we have beaten Roma away, and that means, if I show you this table, 2 goals from Campani, by the way. He's back. He's fully fit. Nothing on his profile suggests he needs a rest anymore. And he's just scored 2 goals. In fact, I'll show you the goals because you want to see the goals in this. In our lovely white kit again, we're behind the goal again. It was a lovely spinning finish for the first goal and off to celebrate. And then second goal comes towards the end. It's in the second half. Martucci is there to like pressure the defender and he slots it home 2-0. The table looks like this. We have got a 2-point lead over Juventus. We have won our last 5 games. They're in good form too. And the big thing that's just happened is that they've played Inter Milan. Now, if I show you that game here, it was a 1-1 draw. Like they're not doing a lot wrong. They've just knocked Liverpool out of the Champions League with a penalties win. They then drew to Inter, which is not a bad result away from home. Then they've gone through in the cup. They're in the cup final. Again, will that help us? Will that work in our favour? The fact that they have to play Milan in the Coppa Italia in between these run-in games. And they've got a Champions League semi-final 2-legged affair with Bayern Munich. I'm just hoping that they get tired or there's too much pressure to get a result in every single game. That they just slip up. Maybe it's in this game here. This would give us a huge advantage. They played Genoa away from home. It feels really important. Like Genoa aren't as good as they have been. They're 7th, but away from home after a first leg in the Champions League, before the second leg, they play Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, and then they play Udinese in the league. Udinese at home feels like a banker. Then they play Milan in the cup final, and then it's Lecce away. Lecce away a bit more tough because it's away from home. We have to do our job, but I kind of think we're going to continue here. I'm going to go and play... We've got Spezia at home. Now, Spezia at home should be a banker for us, especially in this form. I'm going to go play Spezia, and then we're going to keep an eye. In fact, let's just do it together. If this takes a long time, we can cut parts out in between. But there's our result. Let's go and see if we can get... Oh, we've got Bruno missing with... Yeah, that's annoying. Bruno's going to be missing for the next game. I suppose we bring in probably Torti, right? Zilli, by the way, has been injured for a couple of weeks. He's got 2 weeks left on a twisted ankle. So that's a bit of a blow, but he should be back he might be back for the next game. We'll see. Let's go and get Torti can come in and do a good job though. That's okay. Let's get ourselves up to this next game. In fact, let me just check. When do they play Genoa? Because I really feel like that's important. They play on the 3rd. Do we also play on the 3rd? Let's go and get that Spezia game played and we'll find out what that result was for Juventus against Genoa. They'll probably just go and win it now, but to me right now it feels like a big one. Okay, so we have beaten Spezia. It was a 2-0 win. These were the goals. We're behind. I like it behind the goal, actually. Campani, I think, gets given this goal. It's a Torti shot that kind of hits him. Campani gets the goal. That was 1-0. It was actually a very routine win, which is exactly how I wanted it to be. Inside that first half as well, Pasqualini pops it into the back of the net. How many goals has he popped up with to give us wins in his career so far? This was the team that we played. If I go to the Serie A table, we've played an extra game. So we're 5 points clear, but Juventus kick off at 6 o'clock. Should we watch it? I can't because we've had a game on the same day. I kind of wanted to go to that. We're going to press continue now. We're going to find out what that result is going to be. We've confirmed our best ever finish, which is at least top 2, which is cool, isn't it? Let's go find out how Juventus do. This is it. 1 click of continue here. Can I go now? No, I still can't. Come on, Genoa. Come on, Genoa. They've been so good in this save. They've lost 5-2. Okay. I thought it was a big moment. It wasn't. Juventus have done the business. They've got a really good team. It was another goal for Lee Doherty or Doherty. They've got Hugo Larsson. This Torone is a new gen who is... Look at the state of him. He's outrageous. Okay. I build that one up as a big one. They've passed it with flying colours. I guess we go again. We play Atalanta away. Juventus play Udinese after they play the second leg, which they lost the first leg against Bayern Munich. Let's go and get ourselves through that next game, and the tension continues. Okay, it's another good win for us. We took the lead through Spinelli at the end, towards the end of the first half. Second half here, away at Atalanta. We just did the business. I think they're 16th. They are really quite a poor team. Pasqualini, another vital goal, drilling it in, look. And then our third goal, Campani, back on the goal trail again. This was a horrible bit of defending. Spinelli into D'Angelo, Campani near post. 3-0 win. We've done our job. Once again, we've played ahead of when Juventus play. So we've gone to 90 points. This felt so unreachable in the past. And yet this season we've managed to do it. We're a 90-point team, but we still might not win the league because if we don't beat, it feels like it's coming down to if we don't beat Milan on the last day, Juventus are just going to leapfrog us unless they drop points. They play Udinese. Udinese are 12th. They've actually just gone above. They've got 42 points. They play later on. So after that really good win, Zilli's back from injury, by the way, which is a big thing. They now play this game here. Can I go to this one? I still can't because we've had a game on the same day. We're keeping an eye on this result. Come on, Udinese. Do you know what let us down? Udinese, have you got something for us? No. They've won again. They're on 88 points. It was Globovic scored for Udinese. They had a red card, but yeah, no, it was quite comfortable. They were 2-0 up. It went 2-1. They made it 3-2. Lee Doherty has scored another bloody goal. He is my nemesis. Bloody Lee. How many caps has he got for England? 65. Okay. Look, his value is 235 million. He's going to be the downfall of me, isn't he? Do you know what can win now, can they? They can beat Bologna. Excellent. Right. We now play. Same again then. I wonder if we play before or after them. We play at home to Palermo. They're 18th. This should be a banker for us. Juventus, what time do we play? We play at 3 o'clock again. They keep playing at 6 later on after us. Is that the same this time? They play Lecce at 3 o'clock. So it's both at the same time this time. So I think we play this as a proper live com so that we can keep an eye on their result. Away at Lecce is probably the last big chance that they drop points because Fiorentina, even though they beat them last time, they've got them at home. They also have the Coppa Italia final. They're through to the Champions League final. No, they're out. I thought that was the 3-1 win there. No, they're out of the Champions League too. That's a shame. Okay, then here we go. It pretty much could all come down to this, or it could be that away game at Milan. I'm so dreading that away game at Milan. It'd be so nice, Football Manager gods, if you're listening, to make Juventus drop points here. They play Lecce away. Lecce are 10th. They're no scrubs, but we are playing 18th place Palermo at home. We should get the job done, and I've picked this team ready to go. However, you never really know with Football Manager, do you? This is going to be our team. We've got a couple of suspensions. We've got Campodelli out suspended and Matacera. So both fullbacks out. I'm going to go Teresi at left back with Donjia starting at right back. It just makes sense, which means the Welsh stalwart in our team, Thomas Evans, who's 25 now. I like it when these new gen players come in and then they get to like the primes of their careers. There he is. He's going to be starting at centre back for us. I'm submitting the team. We should do our job here. This one should be a calm, collected, easy afternoon. What I'm hoping for is it becomes a stressful afternoon for Juventus. We will, of course, keep an eye on this game here. Lecce Juventus is going on at the same time as us. Milan have actually just lost. We have an early corner. It'd be lovely to get underway. Well, they've got Bruno's headed it over. We're actually a little bit slow now. I think I turned it down for the highlights, didn't I? Let's just get our job done. I've moved this to the top so that you can see it so it's not hidden by me down in the corner. We've got another corner. Bruno just head it in. Give us a nice, calm set piece goal to start things off. He's not won the header. Zilli was that off the post or the bar? We've hit the Campani was offside, but I think we hit the woodwork there. How's it going in the Juventus game? Still 0-0. A 0-0 will be great as long as we win our game. If we win this and they don't win, I think we'd be champions. We've got a 2-point lead on them, right? So even if they draw and we win, it will be a 4-point lead going into the last game. So it's here. This could be title winning day. It would be so much less stressful if we could get it done today. At the very least, we need to do our job and keep it, make sure it goes to that last day. I'm seeing it's still 0-0 against Juventus. Palermo haven't had a shot yet. We are... Okay, I say that. Why did I say that? They've now got a highlight. A corner. They've gone short. Header at the back. Okay, good header. Good win at the back post. Can we break? No, Zay Carlos comes forward for them. Okay, Teresi's lovely chest control. We like that. Let's go up the other end and score. Oh my God, D'Angelo's lost it. Leone? What a finish. Antonio Leone has smashed that into the back of the net and we're 1-0 down. This is going... That's their first shot on goal, isn't it? It's, I think, D'Angelo that loses it in the midfield. Gives it Bruno. There's a bit of a mix-up between Bruno and D'Angelo. The mohawked Leone smashed it in. We're 1-0 down. And to add insult to injury, no, it's still 0-0 in the Lecce-Juventus game. I'm not panicking at this stage. We've got a lot of time, and we were dominating before that goal goes in, weren't we? A nice, swift recovery would be really very well received. Donjia loses it. We should get this back here. We do eventually and lose it again. I think Palermo are set up to try and catch us on the break a bit here, because in the breakdown of the ball, they look to attack, but we've got it back from them this time. Maybe they're slightly out of position. Teresi down the left. Campani, Spinelli in the middle. We've got loads of players. 3 of them queuing up at the back post. Spinelli! That's where you move him slightly in. There's 2 of them. You overload them in those far post crosses, because that could have been any of Campani, Spinelli, or I think it's D'Angelo that gets himself in there as well, isn't it? This third man here. Yeah, it is, look. But Spinelli gets the header in. The shortest of the 3, I think. It's 1-1. Back to, it's exactly as if the game hadn't been played at all so far. Juventus still 0-0. We're back to drawing as well. Pasqualini. That's horrible to keeping. Oh, my word. That was hot. I mean, there's goal line technology looking at that as well. It's not gone in, but it was pretty close, actually. Weird highlight, that one. Half an hour in. And Moraschini back to the keeper. Daniel is the keeper, who looks a little bit fraught in between the posts. Teresi. Come on. Get us into the lead. And then the pressure's piled on Juventus, isn't it then? Away from home, not in front of their own fans. We are in front of our own fans here. Zilli. Teresi. Crosses. Cleared. Pressure stays on though. Teresi's been very involved on this left-hand side. Did he get the assist? He might have done. I think he did. Here he goes again. That's going to go in. It's Campani! 27 for the season. And we lead. If it stays like this, we're champions. There's a very long way to go. Oh, I thought there's goals gone in all of the games around this Juventus game here. It's still 0-0. Lecce are doing wonders. They've had a red card. Juventus are down to 10. Tyrone, we looked at him. He's fantastic. Lecce have scored. Come on. Our youth. Don't you dare concede now, lads. Don't you dare concede now. Everything is going our way. We lead. Juventus down to 10 and they're a goal down. The odds are stacked against them. We're going to concede a goal, aren't we? That's just Football Manager. We're going to concede a goal and make us worry that we are... What a finish. Paolo Prosepio with a preposterous finish. I've become a poet. I'm just trying to work out the maths here. If we draw and they lose, I think it's still game on because it would be a 3-point gap and their head-to-head is higher. Right? It would be 3 points. Their head-to-head is better, meaning if technically it's not done, although it's very close to being done. Of course they've scored 2 from 3 shots. Of course they score a worldie. This would be a terrible way. If we don't win this game, this would be terrible. I'm not going to make changes because I really feel like we should have scored more than the 2 that we've got. D'Angelo, straight away in the second half. Suffocate them, lads. That seems a bit much, doesn't it? Donjia, going forward though. He's got to put it in. It's an own goal. It's Spinelli. I thought it was an own goal. It's 3-2. Okay, we're back in the lead. Title is back on. The title is back on. Spinelli smashes home. It's Donjia with a lovely assist. He's only actually come in because of the suspension to Campidelli, but he does very well here. Spinelli's got to... It was deflected off the defender. That's why I thought it might have been an own goal. Are Juventus still losing? They are. With that 10 men as well. That's a ridiculous ball forward. Leone's on the end of it. I should change, shouldn't I? I should try and lock this down. If they don't score here... Oh my word, they've hit the post. I'm going to make a change. 52 minutes in because they do look really... quite scary on the break. I don't know where this performance has been all year from Palermo. They're getting relegated, but they've looked really quite good against us here. Donjia's just ran forward very slowly there. I want this highlight to end so I can make a change. Right, here we go. Let's go to our old familiar, the 4-3-3, because we've actually got players on the pitch. We don't need to make a sub for it either. We could in fact, that is exactly how it would be. We have a defensive midfielder. Torti could come on. Bruno's on a yellow. I might keep him on. I'm going to do D'Angelo. No, do you know what? D'Angelo's playing better. I'm going to do Torti for Bruno. Spinelli goes back to the right. And I think that might be it for now. I'm just looking at Teresi, but we really don't have a left-back option. That's going to be it for now, but we're going to go slightly more solid with a 4-3-3 instead. Juventus still trailing. Half an hour to play. We might do this with a game in hand. Who would have thought it? I really, really thought this was going to come down to the Milan shootout at the end. It's 2-0 Lecce. It's 2-0 Lecce. Juventus are going to lose. All we need to do is make sure we win this game. Nothing silly, lads. That feels like famous last words. I'm going to do more subs because we just need to see this game through. Could somebody go left back for us? Could Tade come and do left back? He's not very good. Is he left footed? I think he's right footed. He is right footed. I don't want him to do that. I'm going to keep Teresi on there. He's been a really good servant for us. I'm going to keep him on the pitch. Zilli, I was going to take off, but he might lift the trophy here, and I kind of want him to do that. That's a ridiculous thing to do, isn't it? D'Angelo off, though. Oh, I don't know what to do. None of these players really have the... Who's like a safe sub to bring on? Parisi, probably. I'm going to do Spinelli off for Parisi, just because I feel like that's safe. I want fresh legs, but I don't want to... I'm going to do Roma on the left as well. But I don't want to bring players on in defensive positions who could make a mistake because they're fresh to the game. But I want an outlet, so I'm going to bring fresh wingers on, I think. A fourth goal, lads, would be really, really quite nice right now. I'm stressing, and you're probably watching this thinking it's done, don't worry about it. But I am stressing because there's a very real chance that we go to Milan and lose. Campani, oh, he's missed it. Keeper saved it. That was it. We're going to really regret if we don't. Why is Campani still on corners? I think there's somebody that I take off that usually takes the corners. D'Angelo's nearly headed that in as well. That means that Campani starts taking them because I think his set pieces, his corners are pretty good. 4 to play. Still 2-0 Lecce. I think I've got another... Yeah, I've got another 2 subs. Now maybe I do Zilli. Not Zilli. Now maybe I could do Dongia left back and I could bring on Raimondi. That's what I do. Because I trust Raimondi. He's played a lot of football for us. 4 added on. I'm going to do it. I'm going to time waste. 4 added on. It's 3-0 Lecce. Juventus have messed this up. And it should mean we're going to get a title lift right now. We've gone and done it. We've actually done it. Youth intake only. Catanzaro, Serie A champions. What a save this was. This might have been genuinely one of my favourite ever saves. But, like, it's been so much fun. You guys have been so like great in the comments. I really feel like we've had a connection with this save. I do kind of want to continue it, but I said we'd win this league and we've won this league. Zilli lifts the trophy, our very first proper intake player as well, with the keeper Gargano on there too, our first intake player from the very beginning. What a story. What a series. What a game Football Manager is. I'll tell you what. Come on, get in. I am actually ecstatic. Probably more like up there with the most I've been at any point playing any Football Manager game. I'm being serious. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of the support on this series. Thank you for all of your comments. I'm already preempting the ones that are going to say you need to go and win the Champions League now. Maybe. But what I might go and do is play it in the background and then maybe do a video to show you how I got to the Champions League or something. Maybe. Right now is a good time to say that to me because I do feel like doing it. What I also suggest is, should we do a stream where we jump in and analyse all of the players that we've had so far, where we look at the potential abilities and current abilities and do something like that? And well, at the very least, we'll do a video and it might be on the second channel, Clayts 2. But I reckon we do a stream and you guys can tune in and I'll let you know when it's going to be. Make sure you join the Discord because I'll post about it in there. There is a link to the Discord in the description of the video. And also make sure you check the community posts tab because I'll probably post about it if we do choose to do that. Thank you so much, though. This has been a genuine pleasure. I can't actually believe we've done it. Get in. I'll catch you in the next adventure. What should we do next? Let me know.